rolling, Joe?
It is.
Okay, let's run. The mayor's not here yet. Would anybody like to lead the invocation? Then I'll just say bow your head for your own privacy for a few minutes, few seconds. Okay, I call the meeting to order, and let's turn for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, roll call. Would you like to do that, Joe, or would you like me?
Any comments?
Were we aware, and he might walk in any second, were we aware of anything concerning Mr. Thomas?
I don't know for sure whether they'll, it's
Okay.
gonna be or not.
Hopefully he walks in.
Councilmember Terry,
Here.
Councilmember Harrell.
Here.
Councilmember Merrick,
Here.
Councilmember Coon.
Here.
Clerk, myself, Town Attorney Ireland. Here.
Okay, good. Additions, deletions, changes, and approval of the agenda. Go ahead.
Town banking needs. Concerns about, the signers for the, town accounts, to include checking and credit cards.
Would that be 6?
Yes, we're gonna put
Six
that
of
in
new
new
business?
business 6. Agree?
Yes.
Is that all you have?
Nope. Unqualified candidate for council.
That's 7.
Yes. Okay. Do we have an 8?
That's it for this thing here?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have it, well, some things are under the mayor and council reports that I think may need to be action items, so I want to move them from the report section to the new business, which is the ordinance and zoning to cap the number of the standardized and identical businesses for number 4.
Number 4, move that to 8.
Yes. And also, number 5, I would like to move to number 9.
5, establish events to create funding. I'm just reading it for those out there. For community donations, scholarships, financial assistance, and similar efforts. And I love that, by the way.
And then, the number 10 item is reimbursement for, the community center use for this past Saturday. Well, this past weekend.
In reference to,
A whole lot of things. A whole lot of things.
okay,
Can you repeat that, please?
Reimbursement for community center usage for this past weekend.
Community center rental fee.
Correct.
Multiple parties.
No, it's just one.
Okay.
Okay.
okay. And then I have a long list, of course. And I sent my list to Joe, and I think all this is included, but I just wanna make sure. And this one I know is not included, so I'll put, what are we on, 11?
Yeah.
11, follow up with Kelly becoming a notary, or else Mr. Helfenberger. If you remember, we asked Kelly and she agreed to take the little course. We need such a service here in town hall. It would be helpful.
So you wanna add it to old business or new business?
New business, 11. It can be old business.
Okay,
I'm sorry. But it is.
number 5, old business.
We're gonna put
5 notary for old business.
Okay.
And then, I added this, discuss the 2 Cherry properties that are on 27 Legacy of the Town of Fort White, to see if a variance or special permit is needed. What is required to clear the steps to allow properties to continue to serve communities, approximately 100 years of active ownership and use. And I spoke with Mr. Rankin today and have spoken with quite a few people and done some research, and hopefully, I lost you, I know you're in here. I'll let you handle that, Mr. Rankin, when we start discussing. And then that one would be under new business for 12. 11, I'm sorry.
So, never mind, go ahead.
Wait, go,
Mm-mm.
okay. 12 would be, I want to discuss those FERDAP grants one more time. I've done quite a bit of research, and we could lose our FERDAP grant opportunities without having those ADA places in place. And I spoke with Kevin Kirby about that today, because he's written so many.
Old business or new business?
New business. I'll just leave it at FERDAP, I'm going into too much detail. And then a few things under discussion. And do we have to list that, or we just discuss when we get there? Okay. So I'm good.
And then, did you want to move for the Mike Jenkins issues?
Yes, I'm sorry. And is that under, before the attorney's report, where are we doing that? Is that,
That would be, right after the attorney's report.
okay, so Mike Rankin had requested that number 2 and number 3 from new business. Our guest Ken Snyder out there, and Ken. Okay, we'll talk about that earlier, and then we'll move Greg Bailey up.
So, number 2 and number 3 is what I had questions about. This probably should have been on a planning and zoning meeting prior to the council meeting. So, we're moving that up in respect to that, because Joe was unaware that we would have a planning and zoning meeting prior to the council meeting. But, so, we're moving that to
presentation,
the beginning.
After the attorney's report.
the presentation.
Okay. Number 2 and number 3 of new business.
And then Greg Bailey,
Okay, so it's 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
and I think that's it, isn't it? It's a lot of juggling.
Where is that going?
After the attorney's report.
Item 6, presentations.
That'll be 2 and 3?
1, 2, and
1,
3.
2, and 3.
One.
Great,
Great,
Bailey's update.
So does someone want to make a motion to approve all those changes, deletions, additions?
Anything else?
I'll make the motion to approve the changes, additions, deletions?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, 0, so 4-0. Approval of minutes, are we still missing the minutes?
I believe she has all but 2 done, but he has to have them all for the next meeting. In fact, we'll get them this week, so we'll get them first
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay, and I think you just said it, but Kelly's responsible for the minutes.
Yes.
All those in favor, well, we don't have any. Public comments?
Yeah. Question.
Tell us who you are, Stu.
My name's Stu Loper. I live 6.5 miles from the thriving metropolis of Fort Wayne, down on 27. We pay taxes to keep this town in the green. I don't see the attorney contract on here for final approval. Where is that? There need to be some changes. The board has to approve it. I don't know, is that on the agenda?
No, it's not. We'll put it on.
The changes were made and sent out, I'll tell you that.
So,
So the changes were made as you requested and sent out,
and
and sent up, I believe. I didn't do it myself, but I believe they were made and sent.
well, the board is not
I
looking.
understand that. I didn't say that.
To be on the July meeting.
Sir?
July meeting.
It'll be on the July meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Is this public participation now?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Marilyn Frazier. I have 2 concerns. My family's the one that rented the community center this weekend. It was extremely hot. Ceiling fans don't work. It's full of ants, and it was not clean. We had some people with health issues that had to leave because it was too hot in there.
Yes.
We had to rent tables. It's only 2 light colored tables and maybe 7 black tables. There was not enough tables to accommodate 100 people.
And when you rent the facility, I don't know, so I'm asking, do you, like, on the form, give an estimate of how many people will be there? Because we definitely need to have tables and seating.
No, we just
Okay.
assume that there's enough,
Okay,
it has been in the past. I don't know what happened with
yes.
all of the tables.
Yeah,
There's
and I know
enough
some of them
tables.
are broken. Already you have a very legitimate argument there.
Right, right.
Yes,
Okay, and also, I have a concern about the road on Dorch and I guess it's Cullen Avenue, right there where they fixed that. That road is gonna tear up somebody's car.
yes,
I travel that road quite a bit and it's really, it's disgusting.
yes, ma'am, where the water line broke.
Yes.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's all the way across. It's bad. Even going slow, it's rough on the
Yes,
car.
ma'am. I travel that way too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Timing on this couldn't be better. Shannon Roberts. You can call it Swanee County, Columbia County, North Florida Water Utility Authority. The reason I'm here is just to attend the meeting, but prior to the meeting, my board chairman, Mr. Ford, and I had a discussion this morning about the repair at Cullen and Dorch. I sent an email to Chad Williams, who is the engineer for Columbia County, asking him to send somebody out. Before I came into the meeting, I took some photos so he could see exactly the depth and breadth of the washouts there. And I was requesting that he send somebody out and come back with millings to fill that in. I had a discussion with him 2 weeks ago, I believe, and I was asking him when the final asphalt would be laid down over the repair. And he let me know that there is some type of a schedule that happens by sectors across the county. And he said it is scheduled, but he couldn't let me know exactly when the final repair would be done. So just wanted to provide that information.
And can you possibly pinpoint him down and let our office know, or our town hall know?
Would you like to be able to contact him? Is that what
Sure.
you're asking me?
Yes,
I would
Sure.
share that information with you, we'll
And
get that to you.
who was it?
Chad Williams, he's the Columbia County, transportation engineer.
He's the engineer.
And that's who came down for the ADA parking, just for the record, Joe.
And they're gonna put buildings in it till then,
I think that's gonna be their only
Try to-
option, the quickest thing to do, but
trying to help it.
I'll leave
because
that
it
up
is
to you.
rough.
Yes, sir.
It's definitely rough.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I'll speak on that issue, ma'am. I called Joe about that today because I got another complaint. So Joe told me today that he would be contacting, the North Florida Water Utility Authority in the county to try to get that resolved as quickly as possible. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else with public comments?
I don't know if you wanted to address my
It's the same.
number is the
Yes.
same as hers, so to wait for it, but the community center, echoing what she said, there's a lot of things that need to be done. And I know previously the county had sent, I think this was when Kelly was alone, that they sent us a request or something stating all the repairs that was needed. And I think we said this before in a meeting. I don't know, I could be recalling, incorrectly. But I think the county sent something, they had funding or something. Was there any repairs that was needed to the community center? And I think if it was done, I don't know, that we did a list. But as she said, the ceiling fans are not working. There has to be something wrong with the AC because my family rented it before then and with a large family reunion and with it just stopped working and it was hot. We brought in fans too. I think they brought in fans. And I don't know what has happened to the tables and the chairs, but I don't think the chairs ever been replaced since the place was open. So I think we need to, the right thing to do would be to reimburse the family.
Absolutely.
And that we need to, either discuss a partial rental fee or something until we get these repairs done. And I was gonna request it and I didn't put the agenda item on there, but there's a summer program that the county has approved for, the community that I was gonna ask to be held there, but I think under these conditions, I'll go to a local church, which is probably, my church, and ask that they, let them have it there because the community center is just not in.
Could y'all get me a list of everything, what needs to be fixed? We got a meeting Thursday.
Okay,
You'll give me a list Thursday, it'll be addressed at the
okay,
meeting Thursday.
okay, good.
I had no idea that stuff was frozen, but anytime you have a problem like that, you'll get with me.
Okay.
I'll be glad to help y'all out, get that fixed.
Those tables, about 4 of those tables, even at the pancake breakfast, those have been out of commission for about 2 years. And the chairs, there's a lot of chairs, but we could use some more chairs. But I would suggest no rentals until the air's fixed, but that's just me.
I don't
Is this
know,
something we need to vote on, or?
Kelly, do we have any upcoming rentals of that property?
She's not-
She's not
Oh,
here.
Kelly's not here?
No, she's
Oh.
not here.
Well, I don't know, before we
We should-
cancel it, I don't wanna cancel anybody's, I think we could get the AC
We should
fixed.
get AC.
That might be
Right.
something we got to pretty quick.
Right, I think that can happen pretty quick, but we need to
I'll call
notify
on
them
that,
of
I'll
the
call on that
chairs.
in the morning,
Okay,
On AC.
on AC, okay.
okay, so, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Would we be responsible for tables since we're the users, or is that something that,
Catherine, I'm not sure, I'll
Okay.
find out later.
but you'll find out?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I have some discussion, but I'll wait till we get to that on the agenda since we have to make a decision on the fee anyway, so.
make a decision.
So are we not making?
It's on the agenda, we're in the public
We're not
comment period.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll-
Yes, we're going to.
The can was open, but we'll vote then. Okay, good. Are we ready? Clerk's report, Mr. Joe.
Okay, the ADA parking spot is scheduled for improvement with Columbia County. We don't have an exact time, but we've confirmed the location, and given the go-ahead to do the job. Plumbing repairs is scheduled to be done this week. There's a picture of what it looks like in there. There's no insulation in the walls. So what we're planning to do is, when it gets to the cold season, if we don't have a grant by then, we just would weatherize it properly, or we would apply for a grant to be able to get insulation in the walls if they allow it for the historic buildings.
Yes,
Joe, I'm sorry, several of our houses look like that, if the walls, mine have no insulation.
I've lived in that dream, Joe. James, are you living? I lived in
With you.
But if you can get a grant for it, you know, maybe,
That's how old they are.
yeah. So the plumbing repairs is scheduled to be done this week.
And who is doing that?
We're actually having, Earl do it with he is a license to do that work, it's a licensed plumber. So, I had checked with, some of the other parties, the availability and everything, we can get it done quicker right now with Earl and, which brings up another point, he's also, licensed in HVAC and stuff, and I was looking to come back with a possible recommendation to council at a future meeting about maybe a temporary, bump and pay just to do those particular jobs. That if we have him do it versus hiring it out, we save the town a lot of money and time. So,
I'll say, we did give him a raise in October for, additional duties, so.
yeah, he has a temporary increase right now, pending going through the process of hiring.
Right.
No. I'm sorry.
We gave him a bump in pay in November when we did the budget
Okay,
for additional duties, because, I guess he kind of indicated that he didn't think it had been paid enough to do other duties, so, we already gave him was it $2 an hour? Does anybody remember? I don't remember, but we did give him a bump in
It
pay.
was $2, because we
Okay.
gave the other guy a dollar.
And then he's also making extra money as acting, public works director, correct?
yes.
He does, so he got a raise in October, he just got a temporary raise. So.
Right, okay.
But repeating what Lonnie said, he brought that argument, not that it was an argument, but he brought that proposal earlier in the year. And we did give him a $2 an hour raise, and he agreed to do those services for that.
Okay, so, I can just check and see what people are normally compensated for that sort of service, and we don't have to just give you the information, we can leave it at that, or if you wanna take it further, you can, strictly up to council.
Okay.
One other suggestion is, and I don't know, if anybody's familiar with this sort of thing, but are there companies that do like service contracts, like service technician to handle plumbing, electrical?
Yes, absolutely,
Can we price some of that too?
sure.
Thank you.
That would come in handy for the community center.
Yes, absolutely.
I know you're writing, but it's still with you, Joe. I'm going to
Sure.
this next one on the list. Sidewalk edging to be done next week, and I saw them doing that today, followed by removal of signs in right away.
Well, we're gonna, if there's, any signs in the right of way, typically they can block, visibility and be a hazard.
I'm saying we, y'all chime in. We had addressed that months ago, and it was effective for a week or two of signs on telephone poles and stuck in the ground, like we buy timber, or, let me clean your RV detailing, things like that. An exception would be those election signs, campaign signs. I think they fall under special exception law or rule anyway.
Temporary signs.
Yes.
Okay,
But I mean, they're aware that those signs need to come up, is what I'm saying. Ed,
I believe that the signs that you picked up, it's in your DOT contract, to have them all picked up as well.
They can't get it all of you.
So I think that's in what you get for your green school contract.
well, I've never seen DOT pick up signs.
No, it's in
They
your
pay us
contract
to
to
keep
pick
them
them up.
picked up.
Oh, okay,
That's him with the mowing and edging and stuff.
oh, okay, my bad, but that's even more
That's what he say.
Sure.
reason to pick them up.
sure.
Speaking of that, I just thought about something. Did, we asked Buster about, temporary, or working as needed or whatever?
Yeah, right now, he wants to take a break from everything, but, he may be willing to in the future. So, as needed, I'll just approach him on it and see if he says yes. Right now, he's just wanting to,
Some of it.
enjoy his, retirement.
And I know we had discussed, hiring a temp person. I had an idea about that. I don't know if the council would be okay with it, but, so there are programs that go on to, in Lake City, and kids get summer programs and all of that, okay, right? So I was wondering, instead of going through temp services and paying maybe an outside person that's not from Fort White, that maybe we could get with the agriculture teacher at the high school and maybe get 2 kids for what we could get for one. And so we're supporting our community and we're supporting our kids. And, you never know, they may end up as long-term employees, something to look forward to. So I don't know, that was just my thought.
Can they be under 18? And I don't know, I mean, like operating equipment and stuff, I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't operate power equipment.
Well, the
For
mowing
the mowing,
fall up under that,
So,
don't
Yeah.
you?
mowing, weed, and trimming.
I see our attorney shaking his head, no, I think it's not a good idea.
Yeah, we-
no, it was just my idea.
it's a good idea.
Well, there's stuff that doesn't require power tools, that would, that would be a possibility. But with power tools, you gotta have, they have to be, adults.
There are some kids that are 18.
Oh, yeah, I just mean when you said at school. Yeah, most of them are out, but 18 at school, but I'm not arguing with you, it's a great idea. Go ahead.
So there is a government-funded youth summer program. I actually did that when I was a teenager, and I worked for the fire department, and I went under the supervision of a firefighter, and we refurbished fire hydrants and other things. But that's a government-funded program, and then you have requirements and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's something you're looking to, Joe, that may still be around, but probably too late. I mean, it's definitely gonna be too late this year.
I don't know what program it was, but Jarrell Phillips, he used to work for me in the summertime, and they paid him from a program at the school. And, I don't know, I can't remember what program was.
Was it crop?
I don't remember.
I remember it was something, but now everything, I
The
think,
school is the one that set it all up.
okay. Well, I don't think there's anything going on. I think the sheriff is the only one that has something going on right now. But from my understanding, like, there's nobody, like, from the high school, any of our kids that are involved in that program, because we have to travel to Lake City. Most of them don't have transportation, but I thought they would have placed someone down here at the sheriff's locations from the high school, but that's the only program I know about right now that is a paying program for the students.
In Lake City, we had started the summer youth employment program, and that worked really well with 50% state participation. So I could check on that possibility.
Was that the program I was talking about? Cause I worked for the city of Lake City when I did that.
Yeah,
Teenager.
well, they had people help out with a lot of different things with full supervision. They had full supervision is the key.
Right, yeah.
I think businesses, elect to participate, like 501(c)(3) businesses that can get the funding. So there's an array of different, cause I worked for the YMCA when I was young. So, and they sign up for it and then you can pay them through the the grant.
So Joe, can I just ask you to direct all of our public works staff that if they come across a sign in not inappropriate places, just if they can identify the owner or something, you know, readily available, then talk to them, but if not, if they can't be identified, just remove it. And they used to do that regularly, on their daily rounds through town, so if it gets ignored, then they just pile up.
I'd like to suggest a daily checklist with one of those, including just gator down there to the depot and check the doors and see who's camping or not camping. The same with the two parks. We've had campers at Dee's Memorial Park quite often. And I'm closer to that, so that's why I know that. And I'm not mad at anybody, but if you want to speak from out there, please come to the podium, okay, and tell us who you are.
Okay, then, I've reached out to the school district, who's, in the process of trying to schedule a meeting regarding the acquisition of the fort by, the town, as a donation from the Columbia County School Board, and, along those lines, there's some concerns that have to be addressed. There'll have to be traffic direction would be affected to make sure that the home over there has access to the town roads. And there'll have to be a cul-de-sac delineation. And we're also,
I think, Joe, I'm sorry, but what you're saying is what applies to Horton.
Yeah.
That road Horton, which is separate than the fort.
And, but with the fort, we'd also ask for some space for parking, so.
Yes, and that little playground area
Critical.
was, they agreed to get that playground area inside the fence by the fort, has basketball hoops there now, as parking. Cause no one would build a park in the school parking lot, cause it's always fenced off, and locked.
Okay, and that's, so this would be coordinated between the school officials, myself, and the town attorney.
Yes,
So it's just, it's at the beginning stage, right now we're trying to get the meeting going with them.
sounds good.
So, food trucks, there have been, concerns about some food trucks that may be confused about the rules they're required to follow. For example, flags are staked in the ground, when it's not allowed, and so I was looking at having, with a combination of the code enforcement officer and myself, meet with vendors and review the rules proactively so that they're aware ahead of time and do it in a friendly, supportive way.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Okay, I see it down here, I just wondered.
So there's an item that was brought up to me about clerk exercising the role of the clerk without interference from staff, and mayor council. And the main outstanding issue seems to be the authorization of the clerk to sign checks, pay bills. But I guess that'll be discussed later on. The job descriptions for the clerk, assistant to the clerk, public works supervisor, labor and law maintenance are up for review and approval. I'm looking for guidance if you want any major changes in the wording, otherwise, we go forward with that once council approves. So the town attorney is responsible for guiding the staff to follow proper procedures with the town form of government. So we'd be looking at him if we have any questions about, how to proceed. And he's been quite helpful on a number of issues. He's got 3 resolutions already completed, reviewed, and I signed them. I'm also looking at the grant writers. You brought 1 or 2 to my attention a couple meetings ago to go forward with some of these grants, like FERDAP is we can get, 50,000 every year if we have a good application in. But there's other grants that we need to be going after. So I was looking at, a grant writer assisting in locating grants, and a lot of times you can get the grant to cover the cost of the grant writer application even. So at that point, it would be, that's why they're willing, a lot of times grant writers are willing to do without a cost to the town. But that's something that's gotta happen soon because of the timing of these grants. The town attorney, town clerk, and enforcement or land use officer, and I will meet and discuss the Brad Dick zoning issues, and there's some legal issues there that have to be reconciled. And we're gonna use someone other than Mike Rankin, we'll use someone else from his firm, so there won't be any conflict there. But it will be the same firm that the council's authorized to be able to work through those issues. And
Do we, sorry,
sure.
because that's been an issue for a while, and I personally thought it was totally resolved. What are the issues at hand? Like, what do we,
Well, one of the issues is, as far as the zoning or rezoning is require public hearings. And if you don't have a public hearing for it, what could happen down the road is that it could be challenged successfully. And then you could get caught up in, legal, lawsuit or whatever, if there would be damage to the party relying on the town for following up on something when you don't have if the public hearing never took place, we got a problem. It's fixable, we would then have to have a public hearing to run through things, and if it got approved, we would be okay. But without the public hearing, the town is extremely liable. Because any ordinance, and most rezonings require an ordinance, have to have the public notices and the public hearing.
I'm gonna ask the same question that I think Monica's asked, and I've asked 2 or 3 times. He had legal evidence that the property was the way.
I just wanna verify it, because if I don't verify this stuff and it comes back and haunts us for not checking it out thoroughly, I think it's.
And this is not directed at you, but why is it taking 3 months? What if he had a construction project, that was ready to break ground? I just don't understand it all.
Yeah, with the attorney, I've gotta get on board with the attorney on that. We haven't had the attorney 3 months, we've had him less. But, that needs to, I've gotta have the legal, eyes on it also. Because we've gotta protect the town, and we've gotta protect all the residents, including the people that are petitioning.
Yes.
We wanna make sure whatever we do is gonna be solid for them, so that going forward, they can rely on the action that was taken, and they don't have to worry about any successful challenge. So that's the main reason.
So I addressed this issue a while back, and I think I emailed you as well, or CC'd
I
you.
don't think I heard Dick one time, but that was at this meeting.
Okay. So I sent an email, I thought I CC'd you, but, I sent it to Joe, and the county, Columbia County, had a recent, county initiated zoning change. And so I asked Joe in the email, and I apologize if I didn't forward that to you. My question is, there was evidence presented to the council that parcel in question was previously determined to be entirely commercial. The map does not indicate that, but there was a document in writing. Mr. Dix went back and forth with the town, with our planner, and it came to the council. The council had a planning and zoning meeting, and we had a regular council meeting. And we, the council and the planning and zoning meeting, decided to honor that zoning in that evidence. We had a council meeting in the council meeting, we decided to honor that zoning. So my question to you is, do we just need to initiate an ordinance to change that map?
I don't know without seeing what happens.
Okay, I'll forward that to you, but he presented evidence that had previously been determined to all be commercial, and the council agreed that that entire parcel should be commercial. So, I'll forward that email to you, but,
And everything that you saw,
I'm sorry.
the email and everything that went with it, you know, whatever the evidence was.
Send all you have.
Right. I forwarded some evidence from Columbia County, how they resolved an improper, but, now, my question, to the council, while we've got this on the table, is the council members that are here, and I think all four of us voted, if all that is needed, if you look at this and all that is needed is an ordinance, can we all agree to instruct Mr. Ireland now to go ahead and prepare that ordinance? So
Let's
that we
don't
can,
get to go cart before a horse. Let's do a step at a time,
Okay.
because it just says it's very important.
right, I agree.
Because, I mean, there's a multitude of things that could happen to this person's land and anybody else involved, including lending institutions.
Well, my only purpose of trying to expedite this is because he's been waiting from December of last year at least for a determination of the zoning on his property. So we are damaging his property owner rights. I mean, we may be holding up some development or something. So, you know, I'm just saying I think all four of us agree that it needs to be zoned commercial. And if it just needs an ordinance, then I say go ahead and prepare the ordinance.
I will give you the least offensive method to be able to do it.
Okay.
The least time consuming, I guess.
I mean, is everybody in agreement with that?
I don't think we're voting. on
No, we're
it.
not taking a
Right now.
vote. We're just by consensus.
I think we already agree on it. We've already voted on it.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's in agreement. This needs to be resolved as soon as possible.
Is that it with you, Joe?
Okay,
Back to that. Can we get a time frame on when this is expected to be resolved? Cause it just keeps going on and on and on and on.
If I have it this week, you'll have an answer next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to compliment, one, how calm everything is, which is a refreshing change. And two, it's so great to have qualified professional staff. We've definitely needed you guys, and Fort White is just gonna go up. So I appreciate it. Is that it with you, Joe?
let me just check. Okay, I just want to make sure you're aware the code enforcement contract was approved by both sides, and we started using the code enforcement officer.
Is that the contract I was supposed to tell you about?
The will dam?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got a provision in it, I don't like it all.
okay, well, why don't you check on that?
I'll tell you, it's part of my report.
Okay. And then the charter replication contract, was completed by the town, and we have a meeting, scheduled for 2 o'clock Wednesday with Marilyn Kane regarding the, documents and things necessary to move forward with replication of the Fort White Charter ordinance, so. There's another issue out there later, the Morgan Bentley invoices haven't been paid. I have the check, to send out, but need one more signature on it for the bank to process. Currently, the only signature, is the presiding officer, Councilmember Terry, on the check. And I have not been authorized yet to sign, so that's where that sits. The video camera surveillance with the town hall was there was a package for Councilmember Harold that he found under the table. It wasn't under in his position. I was unable to determine the cause of that or be able to locate off of the equipment here what happened. That's another thing. I would like to be able to get to a point here where we're able to have more familiarity with our video surveillance equipment and have several people able to work it, not just one.
Excuse me. You know, so I just want to read you the memo that I sent to Joe. On March 17, 2026, at approximately 1:52 p.m., while in town hall on official business, I inquired to Assistant Town Clerk Kelly McPherson if she had any town mail for me. Kelly replied, "Is there any on your desk?" I advised no. I then took a couple steps towards the dais to confirm there was no mail on the dais at my seat, and I confirmed to Kelly that there was no mail for me on the dais. However, as I approached the dais, I noticed a large white package on the floor, completely concealed under the far left side of the dais, facing against the wooden sideboard leg of the dais. This area is on the floor where one's feet would be if seated in the space designated for counselor for District 1. Upon retrieving the package from underneath the dais, I discovered that it was a large 11x15 package mailed to me via USPS from Florida League of Cities, postmarked March 6, 2026. And a standard letter size envelope mailed to me via USPS from Administrative Office of the Courts, Columbia County Courts, postmarked March 7th, 10 days prior. Both pieces of mail were addressed to Councilman Lonnie Harold, Town of Fort White, P.O. Box 129. I advised Ms. McPherson that there's mail on the floor under the dais, and she replied, "Yep, that's it," and offered no explanation. I advised her it was under Catherine Terry's desk, and she did not respond or offer any explanation. I then exited town hall without incident. Tampering with U.S. mail to include theft or obstruction is a crime. I am requesting that you investigate this incident, report your findings to the council. I'm attaching a photograph of the two pieces of mail, package and letter, and a photograph to demonstrate the location where the mail was discovered. This is not an actual photograph taken of the mail on the floor that day. Also, I would like to point out that there is audio video surveillance at Town Hall. I request that all audio video surveillance recordings be reviewed to determine who is responsible for this act, and that all related recordings be preserved as evidence for future reference if needed. This is the package, and this is the letter that was from the courts. And it was down here on the floor.
Big trucks.
Oh, it's that. Kelly had offered no explanation, so I had to look into it as her supervisor. So, have you gotten any? I mean, what was the explanation given when you questioned the town staff?
That she wasn't aware of it. So I didn't have, normally you could find footage, if the camera was active. I'm not sure it was. I know around my house, I was able to apprehend somebody for taking something out, because I had cameras all around the house.
Right.
But if the camera wasn't activated, it wasn't, I got a recording on there, I couldn't find it.
Well, there is a camera up there, and I have been told by town hall staff in the past that it was active, but it was simply saying. So have they shared that information with you? How did?
They did not.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I would just like to point out that it's in the assistant clerk job description, the one that we're currently operating under, that she receives mail and distributes it. And she was the acting clerk at the time, so she was filling both roles, but Kelly was responsible for delivering that mail. So I would like discipline or some action, appropriate action taken.
Okay.
Can we get like one of those little plexiglass things to put the mail in? You know what I'm talking about? Like Sea Rock City or Zipline. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I think there's one over there.
Like an internal mail slot.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And can we possibly get a quick email or something that we do have mail?
sure.
Cause I know that I personally have missed several dinners or meetings because I've gotten the mail from the desk here after the event. And I didn't know there was anything, you know, it could have been from the Chamber of Commerce, or there was one from, the Veterans League, I forget what the name is, I went to that Purple Heart ceremony, I forgot the name of it.
Okay, sure.
There's a couple other things I have in there, Joe, are you
Yeah,
working your way with this?
you had, I had a request from, Councilman Rizzo to provide the town council a detailed report of all town expenditures to include checks and credit card payments from August 25th, 2025 to March 26th of 2026. This would have been right before I started. There are concerns that the records might be incomplete or contain errors. The town needs to accurately and timely make the best decisions, so I'm looking to hire an accountant to review some of the financial information and make sure that it is accurate, and I'll need the pre-audit work done. And Kelly was not trained in that. It needs to be done timely. Richard Powell has already done 25% of the work or more. He's willing to do the work for 4,000 to 4,500. He thinks it'll be closer to 4,000 to finish off the work necessary for the audit. The audit is due June 30th. If the audit is not done by that time, then we are in serious trouble with all the grants, and especially the big ones. My request is that, you know, and I have the ability to go ahead and do it without council, but I'm asking for your blessing on it, because of the timing of it, to be able to get to and this would kill two birds with one stone. We get the stuff for the audit, and you get accurate information to the council right away.
So that's kind of separate from what I was requesting, but I hear everything you're saying.
Yeah.
What I was requesting basically is something that we used to get that stopped in August. And prior to August, we got a monthly expenditure report. And,
we can go back to that, but I'm
Right.
not confident in the accuracy of the information that's out there for the time period you requested.
well, what I think I'm asking for is, I mean, it's been past practice for the council to review all the previous month's expenditures, and we haven't done that since August. So I'm just asking for a printout of whatever you have, banking, you know, and you can just email it to everybody. I mean,
Sure, then we can give you if there's corrections, we can give it later and you can compare them. if you
And-
like.
you know, the contract, the unauthorized contract, execution by the town clerk and that sort of thing kind of raises a red flag for me. So
Yeah.
I'd like to go back and look through all those monthly expenditure reports
Right,
just to see if there's any other red flags that
sure.
the council needs to address.
Okay, so, if the council doesn't have any objection, I'll go ahead and get get the pre-audit stuff done, I wanna start it now because it's critical that we meet the June 30th deadline. There are penalties if you don't.
Yes.
Financial penalties, and the more this would ensure that we wouldn't have that. So,
And Dick Powell's estimating an additional $4,000?
no, Dick Powell is, this would be Richard Powell, he's not connected with the firm, he
Okay.
sold it to them. They can't legally audit their own work.
The older man.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
okay,
older
that is
man,
respectful.
which went on his own, would have to do the work. I have other estimates out there, and if they would turn out to be, cheaper, I would certainly go with the cheapest one. But, we just need some basic, accounting work to get it ready for the auditors.
Okay.
So, I'll
We
go
need
ahead
to
and do
get
that.
that finished.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, provided there's no objection from council.
We need to get that finished. And I just wanna note on what Lonnie said, about income and expenditures, that's what I call it. We've never, since I've been sitting here, never gotten it consistently.
No.
And I've asked for that for 18 months, or however long.
Well, we could put a template together and, that would.
Thank you, I just have one question. Isn't Dick Powell Senior, that's his son-in-law that owns the company now? Been watching Dick Powell for a long time, I don't know if
Yes.
that's an exact, like if she's finished, please.
Sure, sorry.
I don't know if that's an exact arm's length transaction. That's his son-in-law. I mean, it's kind of, they own the building, they're moving out of the building. He doesn't want his son-in-law to, the son-in-law wants to do the audit, but can't do these books, so the father-in-law wants to do the books. It's just with things the way they are right now, I think you might ask yourself if that's the best idea. I mean, we already have problems with Dick Powell's invoices, which I looked at. And I don't even understand, he said he made changes, but it doesn't say what the changes are. He writes down, I've been watching his invoices for 20 years. He writes down, I did a report, but he doesn't give the name of the report. Now we're gonna get stuff updated from, because of the auditor, his son-in-law needs work done. So I'm thinking maybe you just need somebody independent. It's not related to that family to look at the books, and of course, that's up to the town council, not up to me. And I just thought I would point that out, and I'm looking forward to your answer. Thank you very much.
I've also contacted Greg Poole and Michael Whitehead, and if either one of those would come in close, we could just go with them. But right now, they haven't gotten back to me, and I can't wait a long time. So,
Right. And according to this latest memo or email from Dick Powell, it was a real mess when he came in here to do the audit.
mhm.
So that furthers my concerns of unqualified staff being in here at the time.
So, everything needs to get addressed, but I think that this audit, in the time of the single audit for the town is critical,
Yes.
absolutely critical. There is some complaints about the town, council meetings not being live streamed on YouTube. We found that there was a problem with one of the microphones, so we had it, connected up closer to here, it's right here. And hopefully that helps on the sound, because it's, we don't want anyone not to be here at meetings. So, if there's, and the other camera fell down 10 minutes before the meeting started. So, we'll have it looked at, but I just wanted to, that we had, there were some complaints on this.
I don't know if that's the thing the mayor brought down there to the community center, but that ruined the audio down there. So, I don't know, usually the microphone on the webcam works fine in here.
Yeah.
But down there was that ruined the audio. We'll hope for the best. We have audio recordings if not, so.
Sure. Okay, well, that's,
I had a couple other things that I should address that you, the discipline, I think there was multiple council members, agreed that there should be some discipline for the execution of that contract for Dick Powell by the clerk.
Yeah.
Acting clerk. So my question for you is, are you going to seek guidance from the council on whether the council should do that because it was before your time, or are you comfortable taking the appropriate
I mean,
action?
it could be either, but I was looking for guidance from the council as far as, I heard a little bit about, you know, what you thought was appropriate, but is that the whole council, is that, or it should be? So just a little guidance from the council as to what, you know, what you're gonna have.
So other council, have any thoughts on that? She executed the contract before Joe got here, so I'm fine with Joe taking the appropriate action and other council members.
I don't know what the appropriate action would be, and I don't know, given the situation at the time. I'm not into, reprimanding people that was doing the best they could given what they have, so I personally don't think it should be anything more than a verbal, but I think she was doing what she could do and knew to do. So that's my recommendation.
Okay. Well,
I would like to just expound on what Ms. Merrick said. Not a verbal warning, but a verbal, at least a reprimand of some sort, whether it be verbal or written reprimand. I believe it should be a reprimand, not a warning.
okay,
And the last action item I asked you to cover the clerk's report was the relocation of a business from this side of town to the other side of town. I sent an email about that to Mr. Rankin. He didn't know anything about it. He sent it to the clerk, and then the clerk said she didn't know anything about it, and so it just kind of rolled on. And
okay. I'll follow through on it.
okay, the produce stand moving from over here by Subway to Ace Heat and Air.
Oh.
Yeah. Mr. Rankin, did you have any update on that, or?
I do not.
Still don't know anything about it?
I do not.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, and then, we're meeting with Shelley Hens, with the Florida Rural Water Association, to discuss the information needed by the Florida Rural Water Association to do the water rates, or the sewer rate study for the town. So we're going to figure out what we have to do as far as gathering information, and everything to get them going on that study. It'll be what they need immediately to get going and what they need to finish it up. So that's kind of critical as a requirement of the sewer construction projects. Okay,
Is that it?
yep,
Well, it seems that, the only people that had these agenda items and these pinpoint, whatever they were the clerk and Mr. Harrell. There's only,
About 6 or 8 of those that he went over were mine.
okay, but they're still not on the agenda.
I emailed them.
okay. What it was said to me was that it could be either in a clerk's report or on the agenda. I can just put them all automatically on the agenda. If you want.
Well, the clerk's report is on here with items under here, so I would like to know what we're talking about, so in case I wanted to prepare or have some type of insight on it.
Okay, I'll list them all then.
So, and I think it needs to be for the approval of minutes the next time that it needs to be amended to add all of those things, because I want to go back and refer to my notes.
Sure.
There's nothing.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
And I agree with that. And I printed out everything that I had sent to Joe. I printed out the email and, said that if he handled it beforehand, then just omit it. But I agree with what you're saying, Ms. Merritt.
Okay, we'll just put the detail on that.
And I know you're overwhelmed, but we've got to get these packets out earlier too, so that we have time to review everything.
Yep.
So now can we move on? Proclamations, presentations? Oh, we've been waiting. No, my bad. We've been waiting for you, sir.
All right, two items on the agenda, and I'll take those, of course, the sewer hookup ordinances. I've been looking at other ordinances in other municipalities, and we'll produce a ordinance for Fort White for you to consider, hopefully by the next meeting. I'd like to talk to Mr. Bailey about that whenever we get a chance, but it's gonna be that, I'll take a few more disciplines of the law to put all that together. The other is the status of resolution 2025-27 and 2025-215, which I think is 2022-215, which is the purchasing power. If you recall, that came up the last time. I had a concern about one issue in there, which required the mayor to talk with another member of the council, and that violated the sunshine law. I recall, and my memory's not what it used to be, but I recall, there was some discussion about allowing, the town clerk to have purchasing power from $1,000 or before $1,000 up to $5,000. I thought that, but then whenever he and I were talking, there was some discussion about that y'all wanted to look into that, so I don't know where to sit down on it as for, I can make one real small change in the resolution as it is, bring it back to you next time, or if it needs to be revamped, just any guidance.
I think we agreed on the clerk is 5,000. Y'all remember?
Yeah. I think you voted on it.
Yeah.
I think you voted on it, but I think there was some discussion we might, as a matter of fact, I got in my notes special meeting, and then, whatever.
There were other things in there, like the, the exceptions and things like that. We did, in the past, vote to add in that, the clause that I gave you on that sheet of paper. And then, it exempted repairs, but we wanted to go, repairs would just fall under the normal spending limit.
Well, let me do it as I believe it ought to be done.
Yes.
And then I'll get to you, and then we can make whatever changes need to be made at that time.
Okay, and, if I'm not mistaken, we did pass an updated version of 2022-215 last year. However, I believe it was just numbered wrong.
I don't know. I don't
Because
know
there was
if I want to hear.
Right, so we did pass a resolution last year that updated or amended 2022-215, but there was some question on how resolutions be numbered, so, at that time, the person just numbered it 2025 and kept the same last three digits, so anyhow.
Yeah, I'll get it to you the way I think it ought to be, and then y'all can figure it out. And that's
Thank you.
If you want to speak on what I'm speaking on.
Yeah, it was on that. Two things on the purchasing policy.
Who are you?
Alexander Vega. The two things on the purchasing policy, one of them was at the last meeting updated to more money to spend. However, Joe just mentioned it as well, no one questioned it. The purchasing policy allows for the clerk an exception for all accounting. So I know where that was the issue that brought up bringing up the amount that can be spent by the clerk for accounting services. That same purchasing policy creates an exemption. So whenever there's anything related to accounting, the clerk doesn't need town council approval or any other signatures. You just made a comment to that right now.
So why is Kelly being reprimanded on it?
Well, because no one reads the purchasing policy.
So if she has the authority, then there's no reason to reprimand her.
I mean, what do we need? She can sign all our contracts now?
No, but that was an accounting contract that she initiated, and so if accounting is what he said, I just never thought about it. If accounting is one of the expenditures that the clerk needs no authority to initiate, she was the acting clerk at the time, so therefore, she's not in violation of anything to be reprimanded. Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Yes, sir.
you want me to, there's other items that I had on mine.
Yes, sir.
You want me to go through?
Yes, sir.
The Willingham Professional Services Agreement, I did not know that I had to get a immediate answer back, but it's, that contract provides that it will be interpreted by the laws of California, in any cases we have to be filed in California. But if you signed it, it's signed, and it's done, and that's my bad. The 2026 the mayor's powers, the 2026-1, the mayor's power, 2026-2, the policies on procedures, 2026-4, y'all approved at the last meeting. The town clerk and I have now signed those, the presiding officer signed those, and they're good to go, and you have your copies of those. Somebody last time asked me what the time for closing the state parks are. I've done some research and I can't find it, but that doesn't mean that there's not. I think it came up with something local here about some people camping out in a park or something, but I just,
Well, wait, we don't have anything to do with state parks. I'm not sure what you're saying.
I think it was, you have a local park or something that people were beggars for sleeping in,
Yeah.
in my words. And I think the question was, well, what time the state park close? You were gonna make an analogy there, but, if you're not interested in it, I can't find it and I'll move on.
And state parks generally say sundown. I mean, they don't say 5:30 or 7.
And they're apparently local for whatever the local one is,
Yes.
but I'm just reporting back to you on the things that are on my list.
On that note, Dees Park had the old wooden sign up there that said it closed at dusk. And those have been removed and the new sign does not have any hours, so we do need Joe to put up some hours, some hours and maybe some rules and regulations, which could all be incorporated in one sign. I know there's a sign up there on the pavilion that says no smoking, no vaping, so that might be incorporated into the hours.
There was, two other things that were brought to my attention, the two MSTU ordinances that you have on the agenda later on. There are some discrepancies in those, they're minor format, in the way that it's ordained or something, that's not what the name says. It's signed by the mayor instead of the presiding officer, and I think it requires the attorney's signature. If you decide that you're going to pass that, I would suggest that the motion be passed with those exceptions changed. That's, I think that would clear that on this. And I'm not suggesting what you shouldn't, but if that comes up there. And the final thing is the job description for the assistant to the town clerk. And there's a provision in there on page 12, under authority and delegation limitation. And there's one provision in the bullet point says any such delegation must be expressly authorized by the town clerk. I suggest that any expressed authorization must be by the town council. And the final thing is, I believe, that I gave you, it's your seats of the town clerk did, a memorandum that asks 3 questions that I had been asked by the members of the council. And I'll give you the basis for those. The first one is who is the proper current presiding officer for by town council. There's a recent case, a case back in 1996 out of Duval County, Jacksonville, which is almost identical to this case. It had the same provisions. The town council shall immediately after the induction of its members elect to the council shall elect one of those members as the presiding officer and chairperson. That same language was in the Duval County. The suit was filed by the mayor who was removed against the city. Went to the DCA District Court of Appeal, and the court said the presiding officer being fully elected by the members by reason of confidence which it had in him is removable by them at their pleasure. In the same manner, whenever he became permanently unable by reason of sickness or otherwise to discharge the duties of his place and does not resign the office, or when he has in any manner or for any purposes forfeited or lost the confidence on the strength which he was elected, and it says that he can be removed at that time. So my bottom line is that based on this authority, It's my opinion that Councilmember Terry is the current proper presiding officer of the town of Fort White's town council. The one other question was whether an employee of Columbia County was disqualified to serve as a member of your town council. I could not find any reason that person would be disqualified. And then finally, what can the town of Fort White do if it receives a sworn complaint challenging a candidate for town council? The only case cited to me of Nichols versus State back in 1965. In that case, the member of the council who was unseated filed a lawsuit against them, and it wasn't anything that somebody did by a sworn complaint. I think that answered all the questions that I've got. I will deal with the, excuse me, the banking situation, whatever you want me to.
You will go over it?
Whatever you want.
Yes, sir. If,
Let's go back to a new business. That's all.
okay.
Do you have any recommendations for the, code enforcement contract? We already signed it, so what does that mean about the?
It has, the good thing about it is, it has a 15-day termination period for non-feasible, not doing the job. So we can terminate in 15 days if they don't do the job. It has 30 days for any reason termination. So I'd say go ahead with it rather than stop and try to find something else. But that's the first place I look at any contract drawn by somebody outside. Or if we're going to have the battle, we always have it in their hometown.
Yeah, excuse me, Mr. Robert. Can we have Joe contact them and ask them if they would object to amending that contract?
If they want to keep the contract, they'd be agreeable to amendment, sure.
Can you get over the issues that you had? Is that just that one jurisdiction?
That's it. It's a standard basic contract, and it's drawn in their favor because they drew it. But, I didn't find anything other than that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And can we be notified, Joe, when we do use them? Because I get questions all the time of
Sure.
after the fact stuff, like cemetery gates locked or.
Sure.
Okay.
Do we want a monthly report, or how would you go?
Well, I mean, if they use them tomorrow, I'd just like an email that, hey, we had to use code enforcement today, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
Sure. It's easy to go along with, to go along.
So I'm reading today.
With Councilwoman Merritt's question, I get emails, and I get emails. How am I supposed to handle those? The ones I gave you and the memo I gave you, everybody contact. The rest of them, some of them, I don't know, I just never really compared like that.
Welcome to Fort Wayne.
I mean, even from citizens.
So are you asking us if we want you to reply to the email or handle it in the meeting? Is that what you're?
Should I? Well, I can't forward the email to everybody else because that violates sunshine law. I can say I have been asked this question, this will be my answer. Or I can wait until the meetings and handle it all at once. Unless it's an emergency situation.
Does anybody have a preference?
I'm good at the meeting.
However you see fit.
I like this.
That makes it easier for me. All right, that's all I have.
You look like you've had plenty of experience, so we will trust your judgment.
3 years doesn't mean a lot. It's just all. That's all, that concludes my report.
Okay, we're good. Item 6, proclamations, presentations. Item 7, mayor, councilor reports.
Well, we
No, we moved 1 through 3 up to.
1 through 3 is in presentation.
I'm gonna get it sooner or later.
9-1.
Item 6.
Mr. Bailey.
Good evening. The wastewater treatment plant project is moving ahead. The plant work, I wish it was a little bit quicker, but, we seem to be a little bit, not quite as swift as we're doing the collection system, so. But they're all moving ahead, it's in that time period, which takes a lot of time to get stuff done. I know we've had some discussions about the line break, but if you have any
concerned with contract, we are cutting the roads, what we're doing those. If those need to be upgraded or maintained, let us know immediately and we'll make sure they get it done, but as far as we can tell, they're doing a great job as far as keeping things moving. Not on the wastewater treatment plant, but the water line project that created the loops. We've been coordinating with Joe on that. We are pretty much complete with the plans. The permit's been issued for that. The only thing we're waiting on would be the easement from Dallas Properties, which is over here in the northeast quadrant.
That's the L-shaped piece.
Yes, sir. We needed a 20-foot easement that would go down their south property line and then it butts up to that subdivision over there. So we could run that line through there. That's the way we got it laid out. That's the only thing that's really holding us up from moving that forward. I believe Joe put them already on some other stuff, so hopefully we can get that done pretty quickly. It's just trying to connect with him right now to get the paperwork done for the easement because he's agreed to do it. Okay, so he's agreed? Yes. And then, so we've got a legal description already prepared for that and the sketch description. And I think Ricky might have emailed that to you today. We had sent it to the clerk previously, as well, so. So that's all ready to go, so we just need to get that legal agreement. And then we just need to advertise for the procurement policy and execute, that. So you could be under construction for that project September, I would say. Should be a reasonable time frame to go get that project, moving forward there. The other project is Yulon Street. That's the street project, not the utility work out there, but the street project. We're pretty much done with that as well. Before this plans to Mr. Altenberger for him to look over if he has any issues. We are coordinating that with the utility contractor as well. So we want to time that once they get done with that area there, the line work, and I think pretty much most of that's already done. We do have some work left to be done on the lift station, so we do have some more setting of structure. So we don't want to initiate that street project until that work is done, so we don't have any heavy equipment out there. I have to do anything with that. And we'll leave the road, and the way that project is, the plan will come in there and reclaim the whole thing. So we're gonna be grinding up the whole road all the way through, and then reshaping the base and then widening it out 2 feet. So we'll let the utility contractor get done, and as soon as they get done, then we can roll into that. So we'll hold that one up until we're ready to go, but basically we're pretty much done with that project as well.
Is that gonna affect that bike path?
So, no, sir.
None at all, that's fine.
We're good with all that, that's all taken into account. There was a little bit of sidewalk that had to be redone as part of the utility project, that's under the utility contract that be done, but the road work is all widened to the south side of the road there. And we'll coordinate with them for the entrance to the lift station and probably just have we have to coordinate between 2 contractors, but the utility contractor had work in their contract, but since the road work will be a bigger asphalt type project, they should be able to work together and get that done, that the road contractor will at one time. Kind of thing. So, with a better product in the end. Letting the road guy do the road work, and letting the utility guy do the utility work. So, that's all I have. There are, I think Joe mentioned it, there are some grant opportunities out there for some more utility work. If y'all want us to take a look at those, we certainly can. There's different things, different programs we looked at, but those are available. And there, as Joe indicated, there are a short turnaround on those. Our governor's going out, and he's trying to get everything decided before he gets going. So.
And Joe, was there some change orders in the packet that was posted online?
No, not for this one. That was the last one, we had two change orders.
Okay, I thought I saw a change order in there, so nothing today. Okay.
All right. Chairman, I ask a question to that?
Thank you.
Frank, I just want to ask a couple questions. One, the ARPA money, are you gonna be able to get much of that implement by September or?
We are pushing the contractor to get that, spend as much as we can. There has been some discussions. What we've been able to find out, a lot of these deadlines that have been established, it's not from the feds. The feds don't need any, they need paperwork in April. So you've got until then, but the state's got that until then to get it turned in, but they've moved everything up, trying to do all their paperwork, so I think there's some room for even negotiating that date, but they're not gonna entertain anything until we get closer to that deadline. We're pushing it hard to get as much of that as we can.
One more question. See, I think you were handling the Scrapping Scott project with Fort White. Have you applied for anything for that this year?
That, they've not, the county not applied for anything this round, we just got the Uline, that's the one coming up. That's under design, that's the one I was just talking about.
So there's not anything.
There's not gonna be for next year. They're not for next year.
Thank you.
Did you miss that? Yes, sir. That deadline was in, I think that deadline was February or March. There's a couple days, I get one of them's like February, one's March, it depends on the county or the city, I think, is that time frame. So, I think we had discussions with staff at the time, but it didn't get moved forward. Okay.
Thank you.
Did we ever miss one on the roads when the county was handling that for us? No, sir. Okay.
All right, Michael Rankin.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the commission, staff, and audience. For the record, Mike Rankin with Johnny Plain Group. I serve as the city's land planner. First of all, thank you for allowing me to bundle my reports on the early side of the meeting. Just to be frugal, it gets me off the clock quicker, so I am sensitive to your budgets. There's two items. The first one is North Florida Timberland Annex rezone and future land use. And the second one is Kent Snyder rezoning to commercial along US 27. I would recommend that this board, as we did 3 months ago, I believe, the second meeting we had where we opened the meeting, adjourned the meeting, went into LPA, discussed the action, adjourned, went back into city commission, and then approved the plan. That way we would cover planning and zoning, which is LPA, and city commission at the same time. I would recommend that these two items be placed on the July agenda. I will finish a report fully supporting both of these projects. One is 41 acres, more or less, and the other one is 10 acres, more or less. Good projects, and I'll have that report, give it to Joe, so we get it on the agenda for the next meeting. And then I know there's a couple items under the report. I was gonna stay up here if that's
Yes.
okay with you.
Did you have a question?
Oh, I was gonna ask you, which one is the 41 acre project?
That's the North Florida Timberland Annex rezone future land use.
41 acres?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's a mixed use, proposing residential and some commercial. It's a good project. They're both
Where
good
is that?
projects. Give you the alt key here. Well, I've got the partial ID number. I'll get that to Joe to get to you all specific.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah, sir.
State your name, please.
My name's Sergio Cruz, 41 acres is between Vixen and, apologies if I mispronounce this, Genluia. So it's right above the high
That's
school.
the sports park, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to talk about your project, or?
Of course, I had a presentation, I don't know if it was shared.
Go for it.
It should have been in the packet.
Okay.
We don't know anything.
Okay. Well, my name is Sergio Cruz. I'm a land planner with Menadier Engineering out of Alachua, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant for North Florida Timberland property. And like Mike said, we're requesting annexation, future land use amendment, and associated rezoning. And the reason why we're proposing this, we believe that it fits within the character of Fort White and how we laid out the plan. I don't know if you have the packet before you or any information for the site. So the property is 41 acres and it's on the east side of State Road 47, immediately adjacent to the town's existing limits. And today within unincorporated Columbia County, it's partially zoned. It's got a weird configuration where 15 acres, the west 15 acres are CN, and then the remainder is agricultural. So obviously the State Road 47 is arterial with an adopted level service D, and we want to bring the parcel into the town and apply 2 zoning districts. Neighborhood commercial, we want to reduce it from 15 acres to roughly 5 acres, and subsequently we want to follow up with a subdivision. So we want to subdivide the 41 acres into roughly 37 1-acre parcels. So 5 1-acre parcels on the west side along the corridor would be commercial, and then the interior lots, 31 lots roughly, would be residential. And that way it's to protect, the residential interior lots from, the 47 arterial road. Everything behind the commercial lots would subsequently be rezoned as our proposal into low density residential. And we want to place the more active uses along the road and create a buffer between the highway and the homes. So we want to add to the, housing core that exists within Fort White. So with this, the change in itself from the rezoning, we want the town commercial on the frontage and the low density within the interior. So the intent is just to, continue in a smart, compact way, just to continue growth within the town of Fort White. So that's pretty much a summary of our proposal, from the annexation to the future land use change and the rezoning.
And you just said annexation, because currently that's not all within the town.
None of that is.
None of
That whole piece is not, right.
It's up there
Rocky.
by Russell
Oh, it's a
Wilson.
group, Rocky, never got the other side.
Okay. Up there by Russell Wilson.
No, it's before Russell, and between the 2 roads, it goes in that subdivision on the right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
On the right
continuous.
where you're talking about.
I'm sorry. So how many residential units?
So total would be 37 lots, so we have 5 commercial, so 32 residential lots would be our eventual proposal. At this stage, we're just proposing the annexation, future land use and rezoning. 1 acre lot, and then eventually we want to propose a subdivision of 1-acre lots. So that would be subsequent.
But with your current plan, the maximum number of residential units would be 37,
32.
32.
5 is commercial.
32, okay. And just curious, how would that impact the town's utilities? Water, sewer?
In our communications with the town, our understanding was that utilities is being extended to the side of the property, and then the owner would pay the impact fees. He did offer to contribute to potential extension because of all the development that would come. So he's open to negotiating with the town.
All right, thank you.
What a great commercial for what you're going to hear next meeting. How's it? So those 2 items would be in front of you by way of LPA and City Commission for next meeting. And you'll have the full packet, we'll get it to Joe. We off the races with that. And then you got a couple other items I know you're wanting me to.
Yeah, but are you gonna hit Ken Snyder's first?
Same thing with Ken, 10 acres more or less, going to a highway commercial mixed use, which is on 27. If you look at the neighboring properties and being on 27, I'm gonna recommend that the highway commercial mixed use would be a good use for that property. So that'll be next month as well.
Do you foresee us running into any issues that we currently have with rezoning?
same thing on that.
Is that 10 acres the piece right before the road that goes into the trailer park?
Right beside
It's
it.
the one out,
Yeah.
one this side of it. Yeah, I think, the concept companies is started up again, and I think as soon as the sewage goes in front of that property, they're gonna start construction again. They've already come out there and cleared around the foundation,
Right.
so
That's
that'll be roughly 800 people coming in every day.
So those, both of them will be on next month's agenda.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
As far as him staying up here, I had asked him to talk about
Number 2,
the food truck ordinances. I mean, that's skipping the numbers around, but does he need to be involved in that? Or the dissemination of information, no, not that one, but
Yeah.
ordinances and zoning to cap number of standardized or identical businesses. So do we want to skip and do that, skip around and talk about that while he's standing up here,
are you okay if I just go in order?
or I am?
Okay.
I'm
So number 2, food truck ordinance and permits. I had a brief discussion with Joe earlier that I'm gonna give him some examples of food truck ordinance so he can share with the attorney of other cities on how they handle, existing, food trucks and new food trucks. And the separation of what a food truck is versus what a vendor, truck or trailer would be. Example, of that would be if you pull off to the side and you see somebody selling carpets on the back side of the trailer, that's a vendor, not a food truck. So health department gets involved in separation of those as well. I can get Joe, to get to the attorney some examples for you guys to consider, a food truck ordinance and how to permit them. If you're okay with that.
I think we have an ordinance.
Yeah, we
We
have
need-
a food truck ordinance.
Yeah, we need to housekeep a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where my question came in concerning the Terry properties. Did you have an opportunity to?
I did go look, and I don't, that's why I think it needs to be housekeeped to, make some assurances of those that are vested and been in place for some time. Respectfully, whether they are viewed as legal or not legal, that's gonna be a line for Joe and the attorney to work out. I just wanna get the nuts and bolts of how new cases can be offered and how existing cases can be dealt with. Fair enough?
Yes, and I'll just say that ordinance, kind of was an all-in-one. I think they developed the ordinance to, handle food truck parks and then mobile food vendors not associated with food truck parks. So, and that amended our land development code
Yes.
as well, so.
Yeah, and, yeah, boy, I can get on it. We're gonna work real hard to get our comp plan updated and our, land development regulations, and we're kind of waiting for the state to make some, decisions on some things down the road. I think you know where we're going on that for, like, LDR, but pretty good shape, we just need to do some housekeeping on some stuff that would help us as sewer comes out of the ground and the development, we assume that may come, could come, so we just want to be ready for that. Number 3.
Yes.
So, obviously on the learning curve tonight, quick, I'll make sure Joe has anything and everything that, I need to get to where he has ample time to get to you guys, so you're not sitting up here. The worst case scenario you can give a commissioner or council member is the opportunity for them to say, I don't know. That's just not an accepted answer, so I'll do my best to make sure you guys can say, quit sending the information. How's that? So abundance of information through Joe on that. This is a tough one. The ordinances, the zoning, and zoning to cap number of standardized or identical business. That one's tough because it's really the market that drives it. Let's say you've got 2 businesses that are similar to a Dollar General in town and somebody says, hey, I want to build another. It's really the market that's gonna determine that, and financing and the feasibility more so than somebody being compelled to build one. So every business has a place in your comprehensive plan. So, you know, if you have commercial, industrial, residential, multifamily, PUD, there has to be a place for any business that can survive, whether it's a conditional or permitted use. And, you know, sometimes you allow conditional uses based on the commission supporting a project that would go in an industrial area for a business that's permitted in commercial, but it's also a conditional use in industrial, and it takes action for the board to do that. But to respectfully say, we've got too many of this business or too many of that business, that's a tough call to make. And it's really the market that's gonna drive that. So as long as people adhere to, you know, how they finance businesses and buildings, it's gonna be up to the bankers to look over the reading glass, say, you're out of your mind, we're not gonna fund that project. So that's just a tough call. I've seen other cities that have tried to get into how they can regulate the type of businesses that come into town. You can put them in proper areas, you can make sure they're aesthetically pleasing with some things in the ordinance that we need to put in there for facades, where we would say, here's 10 facades examples, pick 6 of them, and you have to put that on the building. Those are the kind of things we could do to enhance the type of development that wants to come in the area.
So,
And then, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
no, it's your item, I'll let you speak first.
Yeah, so those were my, the 3 items that you just talked about, the food truck ordinances, dissemination of information, and the ordinance and rezoning counts. So the food truck ordinance is, I was looking at the, current food truck ordinance, and there's a lot of restrictions in here for what we currently have. And one of them that is very important is, to me, was the most important one, was that mobile food dispensing vehicles must not come within 75 feet of a brick and mortar restaurant. And we currently have that.
Yes.
So in amongst a lot of other things that is going on with food trucks that are not, so Ms. Terry, I think it's in regards to your property too, them being on unimproved properties. So it says the subject property must be a developed site. The subject property must not be vacant or unimproved. So that's when my question came into, because we have trucks just popping up. So it's not just our normal food trucks that are in town, like every day. I think it seems like every month a new one pops up. So I just want to make sure that everybody is following the current ordinance that we have. And because before long, and that points to my number 4 ordinance and rezoning to cap on them. I just don't want to see us turn into a food truck town. Like, I support all the food trucks, I purchase from them, but I think it's a place for every business is what I'm saying.
It's how you regulate.
Exactly. So I think it's a place for it, and that we have restrictions and an ordinance in place on purpose. So that's, I mean, I don't know, Joe, and when they come for the permit or whatever, do we verify the location? Do we make sure it's within the ordinance? That the site and the location is approved? I don't know.
The license for the town of Fort White allows that person to vend, for lack of a better word, where they have permission from the owner or from the business. which is
No,
the
the
owner.
ordinance, there's restrictions
I'm
in
telling
the
you what the
ordinance.
license.
But
says.
but the town ordinance says different.
I know, but your question was, does that give them permission to?
No, I said, did he review the permits to make sure they were within the ordinance of the town, like for the location and whatever, because that's why we have ordinance.
Well, the
in place.
location, again, the location may change. I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you my
I've
interpretation.
not, but I put a checklist.
So, and that was my next question. So if the location changes, so say, are they allowed for a special permit to operate on Miss Terry's land for certain amount of days within so many feet of a brick and mortar restaurant? Like, I don't know. I'm just going by what the ordinance says. So is anybody verifying that before these permits are issued?
I'm not aware of that. I'd say no, but maybe somebody's involved. What I can do is put a checklist together for the future, if the issue is.
And, when this was put on the agenda, I saw it late Thursday or Friday, and we didn't have the packets or any of that. But I began to investigate the ordinance in case it was the Terry property in question, which had served the community for well over 100 years in this town. And I was unaware of the vacant and unimproved, because that did not happen until this food park ordinance. The latest 2025, isn't it 25 or 24? The latest ordinance that we have.
24.
And so I am at fault for that. And so that's why I contacted, and not whoever has a license on my property, because it's not for my property. They have permission to use my property, but the license does not restrict or allow them to use the property. What is required is permission from the property owner. Therefore, that would then allow them. But I called Mr. Rankin, questioning, could it be grandfathered in? Because those two properties have easy access in and out. They've had buildings on there for years. They've been without buildings for years, but they've been consistently active for years. And they've only served the community. There's no compensation for Miss Terry or Miss Terry's family. It's for residents or visitors to take advantage of, in this case, food vendors. I've had people ask me to do cheerleading there, or Coach Jackson, Mayor Jackson did a cookout there. He barbecued for the football team. And there's been a host of activities. James, you didn't know I was gonna point you out, but I'm sure you've seen years and years and years of activity going on at that place.
So I'll give you, Joe, examples of some cities that show food courts are different than food trucks. There's a certain city that allows so many food trucks, and they're allowed to rotate around the city, and some of them are near brick and mortar and some of them are not. That's separate from a food court.
I understand that, but our current ordinance says, I'm speaking with what we're currently at.
Yes.
So our current order, regardless of the permission to use the property or not, our current ordinance says that they cannot be within 75 feet of a brick and mortar restaurant. So my thing is, you have the Subway and you have Hungry Howie's, who pay a totally different, fee and stuff than food trucks. And then we're going against our ordinance by allowing them to set up in front of those businesses within 75 feet. So regardless of the permission, that's a ground argument there. So until we I don't know about if we're going to redo our ordinance or not, but these things were put in place to control things like this.
I'm Corey Kelly,
Hi.
and has anybody measured
Yeah.
the distance from the brick and mortar restaurant to see if it's 75 feet or less? Has that been done before you bring it to a board meeting and speak about 75 feet? Have you ran a tape?
I have not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm just layman, but I would guess it's more than 75 feet. Do Mr. Ford or Greg Bailey, do y'all know the width of the highway? Because
Two-lane highway.
Definitely not 75 feet.
do what?
Definitely not 75 feet.
Well, I'm just using that as a
I know, but I'm just letting you know.
Eric, do you want to come up?
I guess that could be what our code enforcement is for. I don't want to get in an argument here. I'm just pointing out things, that the ordinance says, because I see. And initially, it wasn't even about, this came up before I think your food truck was even put there, which I purchased from your food truck the other day. So I sent this email way before her food truck was put there, or knew it was put there. And my major concern was one of the food trucks that's been brought in right by, before theirs arrived, it's sitting right, I think it's behind your house. And, so there were people trying to get in and trying to get from the light and all this type of stuff, and I was like, well, what's going on? And get up there and there's a food truck, and I was like, well, when did that happen? So that's what prompted me to go start looking at the ordinance to see like what the restrictions were. So it was not a target to you all at all. It's not a target to anybody, and I purchase peanuts all the time from him, or whatever. I just want to make sure that we're not going to be, that we're following the ordinance that we have. And if it's something that needs to be, updated, then do so. But we have an ordinance in place for that reason right now.
So Commissioner, if you were to ask me, hey, Mike, is this ordinance, can we, enforce this ordinance? If you were to ask me that question, my answer would be, it is very difficult to enforce that ordinance as it stands.
Okay.
That's why I think it needs to be looked at and probably prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something else.
Country River.
And again,
That's Country River. Outside the blue.
Yeah.
the food truck ordinance was changed as a result of the food park, which has no negative or positive on the food park. That's just what brought it all about. And before that time, the restrictions that I knew of, and I told Eric and Meredith this several times, the trailer has to be attached to the vehicle. Flags and the signs can't be in the ground. You gotta leave at night and you gotta take everything with you. And like good campers, you leave the property in better shape than when you came. There was no restriction of the 75 feet. So I just totally am guilty of not paying attention to the new vacant and unimproved stipulation. And the 75 feet, that had never been considered.
And I haven't took a measure.
Because I talked to
out there.
Ronnie Frazier about this before I was even on the council. Because as you know, those properties have turned over vendors over and over, from seafood to Crazy Wings to barbecues, all kinds of stuff. So I would like to have you leave today, and of course I can't tell you what to do, but trying to see what can be done to grandfather that in and out in.
I will do
When
that.
Truett George, and I told you this today, when Truett George was the mayor, I had that pole barn built because they wanted a structure there. The pole barn qualified as a structure. But as we all know, all this stuff has turned over, or the ordinances have changed. But we need to have legacy in there or grandfathered in there as an option. I'm not saying you have to do it.
I
As a
will do-
consideration, I'm sorry.
I will do my best to bring example of ordinances to Joe, for he and the attorney to look at, to offer to you guys, that could help resolve the dilemma we're in with this current ordinance, and show the difference between food courts and food trucks and vendors.
And Alex, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you up there. There was also in the old ordinance, no tables or chairs. I informed Eric and Meredith and people who were there before of no tables and chairs, things of that nature. There's a porta-john on the one, and there's no ordinance, there's no permits required for that. There's no ordinance for or against that.
So, not just your ordinance, but even our state license says we can't have tables. We're just food truck.
Temporary.
So we can't have tables, we can't have anything, even with our state license, even though that's on yours too. But then a vacant lot, why does it need to have a building on it when we can't use water, we can't use your sewage? We gotta take it to our commissary by our state license. So that's something to think about, like, why does there have to be a building on it? For what? We can't use nothing in the building? We can't have a restroom, we can't have tables, we can't
Because
have.
they wanted to limit the back property I was using.
This ordinance was before my time, I was just pointing it
So
out.
that's just something, and then to go back to your other
I
thing.
don't think
consider-
it, I'm gonna interject, I don't think it has anything to do, Alex, with your property. It's a separate, there's the food park and the food, I call it trailer.
It's
But,
kind of like the vacant property behind me that I lease. Since it's unimproved, I can't have more than 4 trucks, because I can only have 4 trucks at the collective, because that's what's improved.
is
That's what
that,
that ordinance says.
what property do you lease?
I lease the one in front of the thrift store and the one behind me.
Oh, I see, that,
Mm.
like you could have a food truck in that park.
I could have 4
Well-
more there, but I can't because it's unimproved. But that
You don't
ordinance
have-
kind of made it that, no, I can't have,
You can only have one.
I can't have none unimproved. Per that ordinance that was passed.
Yeah.
Well, that would be another reason for him to look at it, cause I don't necessarily agree with that.
And back to like his measuring strength, then you're asking Rocky if he can put, I was just gonna chime in on that. From the center line to the east is 30 feet. Center line back to this way is 30 feet. So just the highway, east is 60 feet right there. So then if you go back to the restaurant and back to their restaurant, you're at like probably 200 feet.
As I said, it wasn't in regards, they were not even there. The food truck that I'm talking about is, well, not that, I'm talking about all food trucks now. So the food truck that's behind Country Rivers is, there's a brick and mortar Tribe and Nutrition or whatever that's straight across the road from, that's the first thing that I noticed. And the traffic in and out of there, right there at the main light, people trying to turn in to see what it is, and you know. So that's my initial concern that prompted me to look at the ordinance and, you know, was it, you know, within the town ordinance to be there. So it was not in, you know, shooting, you know, fingers at anybody, but that's what prompted it.
Alex, I'm gonna let you speak, but I'll ask you a question first. Have you ever tried to put a food trailer on that, lot across from the
The
thrift
ordinance
store? Cause that
I'm
never,
never gonna put one
I
there because I
never
was using it
even
for
entered my
parking.
mind.
I use it for parking.
I know that, but did you?
But when that ordinance came along, originally there was no mention about limiting any amount of food trucks. Then the collective came around and said, okay, we're gonna limit you to 4 per acre. And I was like, well, I don't have an acre, I have half an acre. Then it was changed to 4 per half acre, but it was put in there that it had to be improved. So the other properties that I used could not have been used. That's the ordinance that was passed. And I believe that's why it was put that way. It had to be improved, it had to have all these things. But as far as to El Patio coming in, when they first came in, they did show up and they got a permit from the town because they require an affidavit saying they're gonna be at the collective. That was for about a weekend. Then they moved to be at Country Rivers, so they would have to come back in and get another affidavit filled out by that property owner. So that means that the clerk would have to have reviewed both locations. So if every time they move around, they gotta get an authorization of where they set up. That has to be on the clerk to go back and check if those are allowed. So originally they came in, got a permit from the town for the collective, and then had to come back in to get another one from Country Rivers.
And I've signed, not that it matters, but I've signed those for
Yeah.
years and years. And, never, you know, for me, all that was granted permission to use it. And I just wanna say another thing, I know it's going round and round. But our family deliberately left those lots undeveloped because it shows, respect to our family who have businesses there, one. It shows a green space that we've talked repeatedly about, you know, giving those lots to the town, as a green space. And it also, they're such small lots that when we do go to sell them, it'll most likely be like a Liliano or one of those small McDonald's that we drive to, something to that effect, which is kind of unrelated, but as far as it's related, that we've intentionally, Mr. Rankin, left those as they were.
So as I said, I think we can all agree that the ordinance needs attention. for one way or, you know, for some things. But it is the way it is now, so I guess we just proceed until
We proceed as
we
in
have
removing.
correction.
Go ahead.
Um, are you recommending we have a workshop and discuss this and you make recommendations and we instruct you?
I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
Because I will say, I've held my discussion on this. You know, I know Meredith has been in the community for a very long time, and her food truck has been, Fat Betty's has been very popular. Javi Lopez without patio is very popular. River Dogs is very popular, and so, you know, I've heard nothing but support from the community for those mobile food vendors. So, you know, I have heard a complaint about flags being in the right of way and it being a road hazard for traffic. Right there's the red light, you know, somebody brought that up. And then I've had people ask me about picnic tables without a restroom, you know, and I think Eric addressed that. So thank you for that, Eric. But I would like to see what we can do to work this out with your recommendation.
Country, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
If we can get anybody who has any concern about these things, to get it to the rankings and I will sit down and say,
You need to get
bring
away
it
from
back
it.
something to look at.
You need to get away from it.
Yes, sir.
That sounds wonderful.
Should you go outside? Yes, please.
And does that same, like our Subway and Hungry Howie's too close together?
No, ma'am. They're zoned in a commercial C2 or C1
Okay,
zoning
good.
would allow contiguous eateries, retail.
Good.
So I'm taking, your recommendation is that we do nothing until this ordinance is, you know, revisited, because it would be hard to uphold in the state that
My recommendation is that workshop as soon as we can to address crafting a document that we feel like we can enforce.
So you recommend we like vote to have a moratorium or something?
No, sir.
No.
If we do a workshop, the sooner the better to where we can address this.
Thank you.
And I've got a couple more items. The League of Cities put out a 2026 legislative report. It's about 70 pages long, and I'll get this to Joe. But I've been monitoring 5 different bills that could have an impact on us in the future. One is community development, building codes, live local act, permits and inspection fees, and LDR. I'm just trying to see how, what the legislature did, how it will impact us. So I'll get that report to Joe and he can share that. And again, thanks for letting me bundle
Oh, thank you.
all my stuff so I can get off the clock and save you some money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and go eat more food.
The food part,
Support
food
all.
trucks are-
Did I get your ship?
No, I'm gonna
Oh,
grab
and,
stuff.
the gathering, is that a restaurant or a food truck?
It's a restaurant.
So that's coming to town,
It's
not a
takeout.
sit down.
huh?
It's in the takeout.
Yeah, it's not a sit down restaurant, it's a takeout.
Okay, I just didn't know, I just seen the sign pop up, I didn't know.
They have one in
So-
Mayo.
Mayo.
They have one in Mayo.
I've
Okay.
seen it in Mayo.
Okay, and so is there, my thing on that, for the dissemination of
Thank you,
information
sir.
in regards to businesses coming to town, those are things I would like to know about, because citizens ask me, and I'm like, your guess is good as mine, where is that going? So, the citizens know before we know, is
Yeah.
my thing.
And once again, we've been way overdue for Mr. Leonard Ireland and Joe Helfenberger. So thank you, as
Okay.
well as, did he walk out? Mike Rankin
Mhm.
and our code enforcement. It's like a new team.
There's no work for them.
I think the only thing left under the, council reports is number 1, which is maintenance of Hills Family Park.
Go for it.
So I sent pictures in regards to that, and I think,
I've seen them. They're-
so there are a lot of repairs that need to be done, as we know, as we are aware of. I don't know if there's any grants upcoming, but I don't know where we are with closing out the current grant that we have for those parks. But I think as the state that it's in with the repairs, that it's really a liability. So the courts, there are kids playing on that, every day. I didn't take a picture of the courts, but there is like gaps and cracks in it, and they try to play basketball over it and trip and fall. It is my recommendation that we take that out of order, like we rope it off, because it's just, if you go look at it, it's really a hazard.
Ms. Maris,
Mhm.
if you make a public request for emails, I have reported those issues for approximately 18 months. Rocky Ford, you might not even remember, but, and this is not on you, I'm just asking if you recollect. I begged you to redo that basketball court down there at, Johnny B.
It's
Brown.
bad.
Oh, I know it's bad.
I recommended, if you remember, that
Oh,
we spend the money on the basketball court first.
Yes.
For the grant money, you know what I'm saying, so.
Well,
yeah.
we couldn't.
couldn't?
Tallahassee wouldn't allow, we had to, the way that, what was his name, Mr. Saunders wrote the grant up.
Doug
is-
Sanders.
Yes, that we would do lighting and provisions and like, so we had to spread it out and not do it on one thing, and they held us to that. They would not allow us to amend it.
But I did hear Joe say a while ago, you could get another FERDAP grant, that would
Yes.
be available for one. You need to go ahead and apply for that FERDAP grant for that basketball.
Yes, it's, and I recommend until then that we broke it, it does not need to be used by anybody's kids. It's in a bad state. And then
Those fences,
the fence.
get a public records request.
And so, and people are just driving on to the area because the fence have been broken, but I don't think these are simple things that our guys can do.
Those gates and stuff are simple.
Yeah.
Maintenance does that at school.
And then I think it's a slap in the face to the county for them to have done such a great job on our ball field, and it looks like this again. So it's not being graded
Joe,
or
our
anything.
maintenance crews should take care of that at least once a week.
Eric,
It should never have any grass on it. Like, so if you give it to them, they should at least.
So I don't know if they need a checkoff list every week. I don't know what's going on.
yes,
And they're mowing, but they're not weeding. So the grass is just high up around the fence areas. That just defeats the purpose. I mean, it's-
Did you?
I just want to say thank you for bringing
You
that
tell
to
them where they had any issues. They got
Because I was
to
looking at that, I'm like, why aren't they dragging it? Just got brand new clay for the second time, because the first time Rocky donated the clay.
yeah, nobody's gonna keep helping us if we don't maintain what they're
And you
doing.
guys have a beautiful drag back there, because I purchased that drag for that ball field.
Mhm.
And, but you got a beautiful drag.
the last time I saw the drag, which I reported, it was slung up against a fence in front of one of those brand new dugouts.
Yeah, it stayed there for like a week. They drug it like one time, and that was it. And then the drag that disappeared, and it's been done. No,
Yeah, you
I'm
guys
just gonna
have
say
all
this,
that,
we
so.
talked about the food parks, and I'm cool with that, but you've pushed it, not you, but all this maintenance stuff pushes my buttons, cause it's just
That's why it's
ridiculous.
critical.
You know,
We hire somebody, we hire the right person.
if you want to stay on maintenance too.
Absolutely.
And I know the caboose and stuff's always a big thing all the time, that's always somebody's topic, but the Christmas lights are hanging off of that thing, and they're still around the train depot. I put them up there 8 years ago, or probably 9 years ago. I mean, it just looks so bad when you got to town.
Public records request, Christmas lights. Ronnie Frazier and his wife worked on them several years after you'd put them up. Eric used to work, Eric Sweetapple used to be one of the excellent maintenance, public works people here at Fort
I
White.
got the LED lights put in, I gotta put it down there at the park. All the big, remember all the big poles out there with the wire on them?
You did a job at it?
No, I don't.
Well, how you back?
Well, we
I'm gonna sit down. Cause last time I worked here, I asked for a 50-cent raise and they gave the part-timer a dollar.
Do we need to make a motion or just send it to Joe to address?
I'm sending this to Joe to address because as the clerk, until we get somebody in this position to help you, a supervisor or somebody, we need to do better to make this statute to do better. I don't know if we need to if we need to vote on the, putting the out of order sign on the basketball court or roping it off. I just don't wanna see somebody's child get hurt
We
out
just
here.
rub it off.
We can just give them direction to do that.
Okay. And then to look into the status of the current, cause I don't think we can, apply for another one with the current ones open, and I don't know if,
I think you're right.
yeah,
See this one closed out.
yeah. And I think Mr. Saunders is working on that with Joe. They should be about closed out.
But those parking spots need to be on the next grant. It's not through a different grant.
So as far as your basketball court, I haven't looked at it lately to see what it is, but you know, they do sell the, I don't know what you wanna call it, with the big tubes of
This is,
sealant caulk for
It's
the
way,
big cracks.
it needs to be just ripped up and redone.
Yeah.
I think they resealed it for years and years and years, and
Well,
it's,
they did it one time, not long ago for.
We tried it right for,
it's 6 inches
25.
wide
we tried it, but we got the wrong person to do it.
and it's uneven.
Because before I was trying to get them just we'd go to Royal and get buckets of driveway sealer
Yeah.
and throw it all over there and nobody ever wanted to spend the money,
it's bad.
$100
Just
to do
let
that, so.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna fix that.
Mm-mm.
Except for
Yeah,
your
I
building.
didn't see how that did it.
Yeah.
I did see all the grass though.
And Mr. Ford, I wasn't criticizing you, I just wanted, I
I
wanted a
understand,
witness.
yeah. We had a discussion about it, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
That was it on that.
Whew. Take a breath, everybody.
We're moving on.
We need to speed up, not take a breath.
Okay,
We
old
ain't got that
business.
old business yet.
Excuse me, old business. Number 1, job descriptions for employees. Lonnie Hill.
Madam Chair. So I looked at these job descriptions, Joe, and I have a couple questions. Mr. Ireland answered one. Under administration, I think we need to add that town clerk, this is the town clerk's job description, / manager, responsible for town website and YouTube. Now, you may delegate that to the assistant to the town clerk to assist you with that, but that means you have the authority to approve whatever content is posted, et cetera. So I think that should be under administration. We've had issues with that in the past. Under planning, zoning, and development, in the LDC, it says that the town clerk is the development review coordinator, so, the first line there coordinates planning and zoning activities of the town, put development review coordinator after that. Just clarifies that. And then on page 8, hires and fires town staff. Now, I talked to you last week and you said that that was a question that you wanted to pose to the council. Is that correct? You wanted to know whether or not you had hiring and firing authority, or the council wanted to
Well,
retain that?
it alludes to it in some of the other documents, and this would just be another one to confirm it.
Right. So I thought the council always approved hiring. I'm not opposed to you hiring and disciplining and firing low-level staff, but I think department heads, directors, and managers, I think the council should approve those. I'm not opposed to you making your top 3 recommendations or something, bring it to the council, but I'd like the council's thoughts on that. Anybody?
I think it, narrow it down and then let the council. Cause that way you won't be accused of any favoritism or nepotism or any of that business.
Okay. You've been on the council longer than I have, who's usually,
I think that sounds pretty good. What y'all saying, letting their time to use best candidates and council pick. Cause it's very important that we get the right person in this job that we got available right now, in my opinion, cause it hasn't been getting done, not completed,
no, are
for
you,
a long time now.
what about the lower level staff? I mean, do you want all hires to come to the council or just upper?
That really wouldn't matter to me.
Mayor?
Well,
The lower level, you're, the workers under the supervisor and the assistant clerk is what you're considering?
Yeah, the assistant clerk and then your laborers and your public works staff. I mean, really, the only department head manager or director we got right now is public works
Right.
director. So I think that the only one that would fall in that category right now is public works director. But I think Joe should be able to hire, discipline, and fire the lower level staff assistant. I think he should be able to pick the assistant he wants and.
assistant as in here or an assistant in public works?
Assistant town clerk. I mean, that's up to.
We don't wanna, be consistent by doing the same procedure,
That's
you know, the top three or something, that's a
I don't
question.
think, I don't think in any other towns that I know that the positions for lower level applicants come before the council.
Okay,
It's just department heads.
Yeah.
So I would like to add hire and fire town staff, but include discipline in that. Hire and discipline town staff up to termination. And then the department heads, directors, and managers, you would make recommendations to the council for hiring and firing those. And then under scheduling, you got assist with employee scheduling. But I think the charter gives you like full executive, you know, not full executive, but you know, administrative authority over the town. So I think you should be in charge of scheduling, not assist with scheduling.
Direct instead of assist.
Yeah, I just crossed out assist with and just put employee scheduling, personnel documentation, and performance evaluations. And then on page 9, that's it. That that sums it up for that. So, any other comments or? If none,
I'm not crazy about paying an individual this much for one task and this much for another task, however that works.
yeah, not me either, but this is the job description for Joe, so if no other comments, I move that we approve this job description with the changes I just made
For the town clerk,
for the town clerk, yes.
I said.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? 4-0.
Then we got the assistant town clerk. I think Mr. Ireland answered the question I had there earlier, so under authority and delegation, the first paragraph, I crossed out the last word there, clerk, and change that to council. The council would be the only authority to delegate. And then the other two paragraphs I deleted because of the delegation. I noticed that one thing that was left out of the assistant's description was assist council members and consultants, etc., attorney with records or information requests. So I think that should be in there because I know we all probably call, and if you're tied up in a meeting, that, you know, we ask, the assistant clerk to send us an email or something, so. On that first page, that's also got the town clerk can delegate authority under general purpose. The last sentence there,
On page 11.
11. Yeah, that also says the delegation such as change to council. And then under disclaimer, I think all job descriptions usually have some sort of a, you know, the person in this position can be temporarily reassigned to other duties as needed. Just so if, you know, you needed her to do something that wasn't in here.
All other assigned duties, all teachers have that.
Oh,
You
everybody,
probably have that.
yep, everybody in the city knows that.
Yeah. So temporarily reassigned to other duties as needed by the town clerk.
Is that not the same as the performs other related duties as assigned by the town clerk? I think, would that cover it?
Yes, where's that?
It's on, under essential duties, the last point before you get to authority and delegation.
Yeah, well, that says related duties, but, I mean, there may be a time
So just
when
change it, related to other duties.
cross out related. That would cover.
Yeah.
Performs other duties as assigned by town clerk.
Yeah.
That includes throwing her out there on the zero turn. I mean,
The town clerk will use discretion, I'm sure.
Well, we'll probably enjoy that.
Well, for instance, somebody called and says there's a political sign down here in the ditch in front of my house, and I don't like that candidate. Can somebody come get it? And all the public works guys are in the middle of filling in a big hole or something, you know. Joe should be able to say, hey, can you run there and get that sign, you know? So, any other?
Okay. We'll leave that.
We did have Earl say that he wasn't gonna do certain things because it wasn't in the job description, so that's what I'm saying, you know. So, no other comments or discussion, I move that we approve the assistant to the town clerk job description with the changes.
I second.
all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 4-0 passes. That's 2 of them.
And then the labor, we didn't have a job description for public works supervisor, correct, Jeff?
Yes, we do. It's on page 15.
15?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
We must have stuck together on.
So it says,
That's
instead of,
labor,
it said, no, it's not that.
The 3 positions, there's 14 and then 14 is labor, 15 is the supervisor, and 17 is the grounds maintenance worker.
So we don't have 14
I
and
get it.
15 are the same.
Oh, you know what? I was looking at it. Yes, so you got
Okay,
public works labor, 14 and 15 are the same. And so for labor, I had, it's got public report to the public works supervisor. I just put, in the absence of the public works supervisor and town clerk. And then this role reports directly to the public works supervisor instead of department.
I'll have to bring the supervisor in. So you're doing the labor and the grounds maintenance then?
Yeah, this is the labor, and so in the absence of the public works supervisor, they report to you. And then the role reports directly to public works department I put supervisor there, I don't know, that was. And
Where
then
are you reading that?
page 15.
Oh, we're,
The middle of the first paragraph. And, I also put maybe assign other duties as needed. Everybody good with that? I move that we approve the job description for both works labor with the changes.
it also says that, that person assists with building repairs, including HVAC, electrical, and plumbing if licensed or
Yes.
certified.
Yes, I saw that. Monica, you gonna second it to be consistent
Oh, I said,
with your seconding?
I said that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 0. That one also passes 4-0.
For the, maintenance worker. Let's see, is that the grounds maintenance worker? I just made the same changes, town clerk in the absence of public works supervisor, reports to the public works supervisor, and maybe assign other duties as needed. No further discussion, I move we approve that job description for the grounds maintenance worker with the changes.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 0. That also passes 4-0. And so we'll do the supervisor next time, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Ms. Terry,
yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt, your feet are tangled in that cable and it's making that microphone move on the
oh, I'm
desk.
sorry, thank you. Is this the same thing, Joe? I mean, James?
Yes.
Sorry, dude. All right, number 2, under old business, payment of the Bentley Law Firm bills.
I'll take that one now. I think that may cover also number 6 under new business, let's go see. It's my understanding that the,
I'm sorry.
you approved last meeting the payment of the fees to the Denver law firm for Councilmember Harold Warren's recall petition. That was assigned, the resolution was signed and is done. It's my further understanding that the check was drawn and there's only 2 people authorized to sign checks on this council. Conservative, I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Chairperson Terry and the mayor. It's correct me if I'm wrong. That's further understanding that the mayor has refused to sign the check. I sent him an email asking him to contact Adriana Jones at the credit union to sign whatever papers are necessary to allow other members of the council to sign the check. He has not done that at the time of it. I called the Ms. Jones yesterday, Friday. Talked to a young man there, and he said that
Rusty.
that you will need to contact the credit union. You can do it online because you're the only signatory on it.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the only signatory on the now that's on the account that's able to do anything. So I would suggest that all of you we sign up on the account and Joe, so that he doesn't have to go looking for somebody every time he needs to check something. So if you will contact Ms. Jones, you're gonna get her voicemail.
Actually, she's on vacation this week. We spoke repeatedly,
Good,
but she was
good,
giving
good.
me another.
Good. There's a young man that did it.
Rusty.
Rusty. And you may be able to communicate with Rusty. I
Yes.
couldn't, because I thought we needed to do something, we being the town council need to do something. He said, no, the signatory needs to contact them, it can all be done electronically. But I think each one of you will have to, because they'll have to have your
Okay.
signature. But if you do that, then we won't have the water issue.
We won't have what anymore?
My words, that's not a legal word, water rig, total, brick wall,
Okay,
Mexican stand up.
country.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the council approved a resolution to pay that, and then the council approved the invoice, the mayor's act of defiance of the, legitimate government of the town, is that an issue?
If he were standing right here, I would tell him that whenever he took the oath to fulfill the duties, that's one of the duties, whether he likes it or not. But that's not up to me. I'm just telling you how to get around the situation that we got right now.
Correct.
That's up to whoever
Did he
wants to
refuse? I mean,
He refused. But I will say
He's
this.
not saying he refused, he's just not doing it.
That's refusing.
He refused to Joe.
That's what I've been told, and
Yeah.
he'll tell you that. He didn't refuse that to me. He ignored my email.
The Ariana Jones said that I guess they have the ability to do this. He's opened the document every day, but he has not signed it.
But, that's where we are with that, and you're not gonna get anywhere until we get at least one more person. Joe probably is the person the first time to do it.
Absolutely. And they did not tell me that I could authorize someone else.
That's what Rusty told me.
Okay,
I have not talked with her because she's on vacation, I think.
yes, yes. And, I'll just go there tomorrow. I had to go there. That's where I went for that little affidavit thing.
And then I guess that'll get it started, if you'll go there and get it started.
Okay.
And I don't know whether it's up number 6 down here on banking or not, but,
I have a
Do I
question.
need, I'm sorry.
So historically, or in your experience, is there other small municipalities where every council member is a signer?
I will be honest with you, this is the first council that I have been the sole guy, so I don't know.
Okay.
But, it just makes sense to me, common sense. So that's what I'd be on.
If you're not
If you don't feel
if you're not
comfortable signing, that's fine.
comfortable for some reason, I know council members in the past, from viewing the minutes and everything, have requested to be removed from the signature page.
If you don't feel comfortable with that, it's just.
I just think when there's too many people with authority that we could get into,
Yeah.
Well,
some.
it takes two.
Joe,
Yes,
Catherine, and if we could have maybe Bill who's been.
Bill signed his own stuff, I know.
So-
Bill not signing nothing for the city, they can come back and say, Bill signed it.
So,
But if you can get Joe on that, y'all can take care of this shit right away.
Give me 3, I mean, with Joe plus 2 others.
Well, the mayor's already on.
Yeah. And they're-
Don't-
Yeah, so just add Joe with you.
Can we have the mayor removed just for,
You asked, that's between y'all and the bank.
okay. I don't know if that's charter or whatever, but I mean,
No, it's not started. That's the
it's,
banking relationship.
it's not doing anyone any good if he's not signing.
That's up to y'all between you and the bank. If you would do that, I think we would get some.
I'll do that tomorrow, yes, sir.
And you can be available to do whatever necessary.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, while we're on the subject, you mentioned the mayor not following his oath. Can this council address that?
This council can address anything they want to.
And how would the council go about doing that? Is that fall under the category of malfeasance?
Let me give you research on that, because I think I have an idea, and I think you involve the government, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
So that's just an idea.
If you could relay whatever you discover back to the council as soon as possible, I think it's warrants an emergency meeting. So to further discuss the entire banking needs, Joe needs to be added to the credit card or debit card because I learned today that Connie breached him.
You're still on it?
It's still on the credit card.
I looked down at the, so.
We laugh, but this is what we've had for well over a year.
So the reason I didn't do it immediately is because sometimes when we make the changes, they aren't smooth.
Right.
And if we need to take care of something, it works.
Right.
So the same bank?
No, this is, the Seacoast.
So we have accounts at different banks,
That's correct.
and so we need to
Mostly,
address.
mostly at the campus, USA Credit.
So, cause we removed the accounts from Seacoast to campus, but we have an outstanding credit card with, Seacoast.
Yes.
Is that something that we can explore to see how much interest we're paying on that and see if campus would give us the interest-free period and we transfer the balance to campus since we're
You
dealing
can do
with
that,
campus?
certainly.
Yes.
That would make sense.
That includes my report on the, payments to Denver Law Firm
We've had you busy.
and bank.
Thank you.
So
So-
6 in the new business is covered?
Yes.
So let me just ask this before we completely leave. Should I have an email or anything from the attorney to accompany me to?
No, you're already a signature, they don't want anything from the resolution, they don't even want to talk to me.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
So
that's
to
fine.
be clear, we are adding Joe. Joe is gonna look into the credit card situation, and then we're waiting on the direction from the attorney about the mayor's position.
I thought you were adding Mr. Harold.
Sir.
I thought you were adding him also.
Are you,
As a signature.
Oh, I don't care one way or the other.
Just more, you got to help out.
Yeah.
well, you're not adding me,
I understand.
not me.
So I'm gonna request that you're added, and then they'll send you electronically something.
I don't know what the payment for the file consulting is, you can,
All right, hiring of accounting service to assist the town with
What do we
the
got?
there's a payment of the file, does that come under the same signature?
My bad.
Or-
payment of Powell, yes.
It's not the same signature problem.
He has some things that needed to be fixed. The power invoice, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It can, I would, because of the situation with the single audit, I asked if we could have the bills approved and, go ahead and hire Mr. Richard, Hall, if the other bids don't come, or quotes don't come in lower.
So was the invoice corrected?
He's made a number of corrections on these
He
invoices.
gave an explanation of what background was for it, which we already know. But he didn't do anything to correct, to change anything on the invoice itself as far as numbers.
Okay.
He said there was a lot of corrections needed and, there was a lot of prep needed for the audit to be able to take place. And from what I understand, it's the same situation now. The only difference is it would be a little bit cheaper because he's already done 25% of the work.
Well, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Joe, I'm looking at this invoice, and he's still billing for this one. Did he correct the date of the work, prepare and attend for workshop?
While you're looking at that, I'm gonna let Stu, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. I looked at this, and there's a note on the back. After the big page of stuff, there's a thing with like 2 or 3 lines on it, in the agenda packet, where he says he corrected it. But I looked at the invoice as well, I didn't see anything that he corrected. And this is problematic with Dick Powell's invoices. He writes, if you look at the last invoice on one of those pages, it says report, but there's absolutely no explanation of what the report is. What did he do? Did he report on Bill Coon's road grading skills? I mean, we don't know what he did. He shows up, and that's the other thing, he shows up at the workshop, sits there for 20 minutes, and that's a $600 bill. That's insane. I mean, because that's my money. Because like I said, there's no ad valorem taxes in the town of Fort White. That's your money too. It's everybody's money, Rocky Ford's money, Scooter's money, Everybody's money is going to pay Dick Powell. But Dick Powell makes about the worst invoices in the world. And Mr. Island could never get away from doing his invoices like that with no explanation. Prepare report. I don't know what that means. I don't think Monica knows what that means. I don't think anybody knows what that means. So if Dick Powell's threat is, and it appears to be this, you don't pay my bill, I'm not working anymore here. I mean, I think the next words out of the town should be adios.
Yeah, okay.
And that's up to you guys, because I don't vote. But I pay taxes that pay Dick Powell's bills. And, it's about time Dick Powell upgraded his level of billing and stuff into the 21st century, because this isn't Columbia County good old boy stuff anymore. This is the town of Fort White, and now it's up to you, what you guys do. But he didn't correct anything. I was at that meeting in the community center. He stayed there for about 20 minutes, I think, and got up and left, and you look at the bill for $600. That stuff that this guy's been doing this stuff for 40 years, and you're gonna tell me it took him almost 4 hours to prepare those 3 pages of reports? That's crazy. So it's up to you guys about what you wanna do, not what Joe wants to do, because you have to direct Joe what to do. But it's if his threat is, and this is the last thing, and I'll say it again, his threat is adios. I mean, his threat is you don't pay what I asked you to pay, I'm leaving. Well, that's up to you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Yes.
Suggestion,
Yes.
we can deduct that stuff off the bill. It's questionable. And just with him, I think I can probably get the thing settled that way. And then maybe go, since if we want separation, let's just take one of the other posts. I don't have to come back because it's accounting, as was pointed out. But if it's, at all close to the
The
cost,
6:30 deadline.
yeah, if we can get them to come in and do it right away. Whoever can come in right away is gonna have to be taken, because we don't have a lot of time. If I get either Greg Poole or Michael Whitehead to come in right away, I just go with them.
Has either one of them showed interest?
Well, yeah, they all wanna make money. And, they say, the problem is what the quote is. As soon as I get the quote from them in writing, then I can, if it's at all, even if it's a little bit more, to have the separation, it sounds like you're paying for the separation, but it's gonna be independent because of the relationship.
Is there a possibility to file for an extension on the deadline or no?
Well, you can, there would be, it says that you may still have penalties, because you can't get all the penalties if you do that. I had to sign certifications that we're gonna be on time already, for a couple of different grant programs.
Did you say you would hurt the grants?
Yes, it could,
Joe, I would suggest you just get somebody and get it done.
Okay.
Move on.
sure, okay.
Does
Something
that
other
need a
than-
motion or is
Other
that
than
correct?
Mr. Powell.
No, because he doesn't need, he has executive
I'm
authority
really
to,
getting confirmation from y'all that you're good with it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we'll just get
Mr.
some-
Powell's invoice isn't gonna get no better than.
It's not.
Yeah, so we'll get
That's
some of the other
$600
right away.
that he showed up at that meeting and they're showing us that he is wrong. He is telling us to either pay this or boom.
But I think we have no choice but to pay this invoice. I don't know, Mr.
I think
Iron.
it's paid for some deductions.
Because do we have an argument? Okay.
Okay, Mr. Harrell.
Right, so I was.
I would still like to separate from you.
Yeah, so I am looking at it and he's still billing for prepared work and attend workshop on 2/26 and that.
And we didn't even have it.
We didn't have-
We did not have a workshop on that day, so I have a problem with paying this until he fixes it. And then I have a problem with him being involved extensively in our town books and finances if he's making mistakes like this. On
I
this
know a
bill.
numbers man, that's what's so ironic.
Exactly, and then he signed the contract, he claimed he signed, just put wrong a year different, but I think we need.
So we need to move on. Joe's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
get somebody.
get somebody
to do
else.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I'm sorry. Can I revisit, town banking needs real quick? Promise I'll make it quick. Joe, did Buster get his payout, his retirement payout for his leave on the board?
He's coming in tomorrow. I've got one signature on
One
this.
signature.
One
I
signature.
need one more.
Who has refused to sign that?
Nobody's refused to sign this so far.
Okay. Alright, so that has not been presented to the mayor for signature?
Because the
No, the
mayor,
mayor signed it.
Oh, okay.
So,
We just don't have you on there.
No, I
But
did.
you
I
need Catherine to
did.
sign.
did Catherine?
did the mayor sign that one?
Yes,
Well-
he signed,
It wasn't
Two of them.
signed the other day, I don't think. Did he come in?
he came in and signed it. But not the one that,
Well, Catherine, can you sign those?
Yes, but I'm telling y'all that you can't pick and choose what you sign.
No.
It's your responsibility as a council person, including the mayor. But yes, I'll sign that before we leave.
sure.
And that was your question with the bank?
Yes, I just wanna make sure Buster got, that's not fair.
And because that's such a large check, do we need to vote on that, or?
No,
I
For
think
his
it's
payout?
It's a payout, he's
I know,
on
I'm
it no
just-
matter what.
I'm just going to.
I think we need to make a motion to, on this Powell's invoice again, because it's on here for an action item. So we need to make a motion that we're going to, hold off, and Joe is gonna negotiate the, changes that we want made before we pay it.
Okay, say all that again as a motion.
I make a motion, that for the Powell Consulting invoice that we are going to hold off until Joe negotiates our changes with Powell Consulting. And
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. So that passes 4-0. So,
I think we just discussed that.
yeah, 5 is the notary, Joe's not here.
Well, why don't I just do that? Between Kelly and I, we'll have a notary here, we'll just make it happen, you know.
And you're good with that?
Yep.
What we had said before was we would reimburse her for doing becoming certified.
I think we're just gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
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 And for the record, that's not to take business from others, because I keep, trying to post others, because a lot of people need a notary.
We do too.
Oh, I know. But I'm just saying that's something, don't restrict that from your, businesses.
And
like
Joe,
that. We need notaries everywhere.
Joe, is it an issue for you to be a notary versus, cause she may need
No,
to,
Connie was a notary.
I mean, can you notarize your own signature is my question?
No, you can't notarize your own.
Right, so you really need the assistant to be the notary,
Yeah.
cause you'll be the one executing documents.
Yeah, we'll just-
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Are we going way down here to 4 under new business?
Yes,
Consider approval of the first reading of the ordinance 2026-1. The ordinance of Town of Fort White requesting and consenting to the inclusion of the Town of Fort White with the Columbia County Law Enforcement Municipal Service Taxing Unit to fund law enforcement, etc.
I have a question.
Okay.
Ms. Ford.
What I do with
You
it?
knew this. So, where do we stand, where does the county stand on this?
Okay, so the city of Lake City
It's out.
is out. So that means we're not gonna do it.
Okay, so,
And we had a meeting,
Mhm.
a workshop meeting last week. About the MSTU for emergency services. It sounded like that was gonna move forward either, so I don't think that was
Okay,
this is one of them.
attorney says you don't have to vote on it, you just pass it over and go to the next one.
okay.
Okay, thank you,
We
thank you.
passed 4, we passed 5.
Mr. Ford, are you leaving?
Nope, I'm not. No,
7.
Okay, 5, we're also skipping.
Yep.
6 has been taken care of, 7. Moving on to
7, unqualified candidate. did
covered
you
that.
answer
I covered
that?
that.
Yeah.
You covered partially, but, so, you did research the, 1 year minimum residency requirement.
And I got that for another, question that was sent to me, and I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow, it's not here, sick.
Okay,
But and it basically is in there, and it gave me information, I appreciate it.
yes, sir. So, there has indeed been, a person that has signed the affidavit, attesting to the fact that they have lived in the town for 1 year. And they have not, it's a well-known fact that they have not. And so with this council, probably all four of us up here, all knowing that to be true, my question to you is, what action can we as a council take to protect the charter of our town government?
I go to state attorney.
The state attorney? Can we file, because in this, written opinion you gave, you said that an individual that
You
would
can
have
file
to challenge
suit.
it in court,
You file suit if you get it, but I go to state attorney first.
go to state attorney first, and then if this council votes to take it to court, would your firm initiate that?
I'd have to get Scott to tell you that.
Okay,
I'm not sure we can't do it for the payment.
okay. So I move that, unless there's further discussion, further discussion. I move that the council, approve for someone to reach out to state attorney and seek, guidance on this issue.
Would that be Joe, or would that be Mr. Iron?
Mr. Ireland? I move that this council, approve Mr. Ireland to reach out to the state attorney. Report the unqualified applicant swearing to 1 year residency.
Now, what I'm gonna do, we'll go ahead, salary.
Do we need,
Oh,
is
he
that a
said-
motion?
he
Do
said
we need a
vote.
second?
You need a second, vote.
Do we have a second?
I'll say,
All those, do you have a comment, Nate? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
now, what I'm gonna need is something to get to the state attorney, because I don't know this person, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
who-
know
yes,
them. So that's where
What and who is about, I don't know who's running, I don't know any of that information. I'm not on social media, I don't know, so your 2 seats are up. For election, not up, but are up for election, so are you opposed, and you are opposed, how many candidates are there? Lonnie's not running?
Monica, if I may,
Uh-huh.
you've had all five, four tonight, there's 5 people that qualified. 3 for District 2. 1 qualified to oppose Miss Terry, she also filed. So we'll have, it's actually something to be proud of, y'all. For the first time that I can remember, there's 5 people wanting to come help. 5.
Okay, I just don't know.
Do you want to
who
name
what
them
it's
for
about.
her, James?
If I can,
Would you come up here and tell us?
well, Mr. I believe Alex Viega for District 2, myself for District 2. The mayor's brother, Giorgio, I think is his name, Thomas, for District 2 as well. Then Mr. Rivera qualified, am I wrong? I think he qualified
Yes.
to run for District 1.
So who's not who are we opposing the council?
Mr. Viega, it's a well-known fact. He is.
Well, I
I've been
didn't,
here way longer than
I
1
don't
year.
know, I didn't know who was running, all I heard was a candidate, I didn't know who we're opposing.
I know my margin of work, I'm just gonna do information, whoever has information that says that that's not a truthful affidavit, I'm gonna have that give the state attorney,
Yes, sir.
and I'll get the affidavit.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Okay, ordinance and zoning, we still need to talk about
I
that?
think we did number 8 and, number 9 already. And we did number 10, actually, I need to make a motion for us to, reimburse the usage of the community center for this past weekend to the Watson family.
Yes. I second that motion.
And I think Lonnie was gonna address we'll finish this motion, so
Now,
I second it.
Is there discussion of it?
I think we were gonna talk about the rental fees for it.
Rental fees for the community center, yeah, so we discussed it, I just held off on, because it was an action item, so, what I was gonna say in that discussion earlier is, that when I was researching that policy, I reached out to several other community centers, and, in their rental contract, it specified how many tables and chairs was in there, and those were accounted for after each rental. But when they went down and did an inspection, and she said, several of these ladies I spoke with would say that, if you don't have that listed in the contract, she said, every time you rent it, you're gonna lose a couple chairs or a table. And so that needs to be integrated into the contract if it's not in part of the inspection. So-
And in the past, the assistant clerk has been responsible for going down after every rental to do a check off of everything that was done. I don't know, do we have cleaners still for the community center?
Yes.
Okay, so, and if it's not being cleaned and those things are not being done, then I don't
Yeah,
think
then we need
so
to-
I don't know if he could come up with a checkoff sheet for the assistant clerk to go down, and inventory what's there, what's needed. And that needs to be done on a routine basis, cause there were tables, they just purchased, I think, new tables, the long tables, the black tables, probably about 2 years ago. And now there are no circle tables, and we used to have an abundance of those. I don't know what happened to those. So I think that should be something that somebody's gonna have to start inventory.
Right, so can we
Once
put that
again,
in
a
the contract?
checklist.
And what do we want to do about the AC is probably something that could be fixed right away. I think that Kelly needs to notify any upcoming renters of the tables and the, whatever is missing. And we probably need to reduce the rental fee until we can provide those things to them. That's what I don't know what we want. What is the current rental fee?
It's, 300. We got, it's
200? I was thinking
200, and then you have 150 deposit, 200, so it's 350 total.
Okay. So do you wanna cut that?
Well, you don't wanna rent it if there's no.
Well, you can rent chairs, they just need to be notified that it's not gonna be available to them, I think.
Right, because they'd have an extra expense.
Right.
To hire it to.
How many chairs is down there?
Can all these chairs go down there?
No, I think there's a lot of chairs there, they're just old like this, most people have updated their chairs.
Yeah.
So there's chairs there, it's the tables that's the, issue. So,
Rocking before third.
yeah, but I don't think we're gonna have tables and all of that maybe before this weekend if it's rented out. So I think we reduce the rental fee to accommodate them for the,
Intermission.
right,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and we need to make sure that it's cleaned appropriately, because if it's not clean, then they have to go in there and clean it, and
So Kelly is, indeed inspecting it after each rental, so.
A checklist would be helpful, I think, because there's a lot actually to check down there.
Well, there was a checklist. Debbie did that as the assistant clerk. So there should be a checklist in here.
You don't have a voluntary pause while you're talking about chairs.